This is a nostalgic series for me in general, and today in particular because it's a snow day. We're having a big snowstorm right now. Looking outside my window, I just see basically a massive white. And so I was sent home early from work, and what better thing to do on a snow day than play some Pokemon? I do want to say, because there was a little bit of a break between recording this episode and the earlier ones. Lieutenant Surge just turned and faced the wall in shame, sure. In the time between recordings, I've encountered a little bit of Generation 1 discourse on the internet, on Discord once again. And these days, when I see Gen 1 discourse, it's usually coming from fans a fair bit younger than me. And it's not Gen 1ers, it's usually people bashing these as flat-out bad Pokemon games. Which saddens me a little bit. Yes, because nostalgia, rose-colored glasses, but I do think there's something special here as well that's worth honoring, even if someone doesn't necessarily enjoy playing it. And I do want to say this now as well, because we are heading into the middle part of this game. The Kanto region's going to open up a fair bit. We're going to see some bigger cities and stuff. But honestly, a lot of it is also going to get kind of dull. There are going to be repetitive trainer battles. There are going to be some not very interesting wild encounters in some areas. I think the early part of this game genuinely holds up super well after 30 years, but in the middle, some things will start to drag a bit, and I will call that out. Unfortunately, when I played Black and White and their sequels, well, Black and Black 2, with a more critical eye, I appreciated a lot of things that I'd overlooked before. In Gen 1, playing that with a more critical eye than I'm used to, and not just nostalgia goggles, I'm going to see some flaws that I was willing to overlook before. But I do still think there's something special about these games that is worth exploring further. Let's see what this guy has to say. Woo, that match was electric. Oh, what is Lieutenant Surge? Does he have any more dialogue? A little word of I forgot to give him a little word of advice, kid. Electricity is sure powerful, but it's useless against ground-type Pokemon. Alright, that was the Lightning American. Yeah, so I think there's something special about these games still, compared to modern Pokemon games, and I think to some extent you had to be there, because this is a style of video game that I'm used to from my childhood that you don't really see anymore, but also, I mean, I was talking last time about how there being fewer Pokemon means that some Pokemon that get overshadowed now get a chance to shine, right? Like, Nidoking is the crazy, rapid-evolving, early-game powerhouse. Ekans is a weird, frustrating battle in a lot of those early trainer battles. You get Pikachu and Clefairy as special encounters in a certain area. Granted, Pikachu is not overshadowed, but you know what I mean. I had another example, I've forgotten it now. Oh, Zubat and Mount Moon, right? Left a memorable impression as a pretty ordinary Pokemon. In modern Pokemon games where there are over 1,000 Pokemon and a regional dex can be a few hundred, there are a lot of great Pokemon designs. I'm glad they keep making more, but, you know, when does Kilowattrel or Spidops or Darkspun get a chance to really shine like that and really sort of make a statement and stand out as a character unique from all the others? I think they did a great job there. I think, as usual, one of Pokemon's great strengths is its creature design. That's something that holds up extremely well across all generations. And Gen 1 with fewer creatures, to perceive them a little bit differently. Not the most articulate version of this take, but I think there's a lot to appreciate about Gen 1. And that's exactly what I want to do with my snow day, like I said. So, gonna heal the party. I'll have to take a look at my team, because I've forgotten some of the details. And then there is quite a bit to do in this episode. I've been thinking, because my options open up quite a bit at Celadon City for what order to do things in. I've been thinking about how best to do it, and I think I found a good answer. But of course I have to get there first. So, we got our team of currently 4 Pokemon, all named after classic Pokemon characters. We got Salesman the Magikarp, with only Splash and Tackle, but soon to evolve, just 2 levels away. Jacynth the Clefairy, Double Slap, Growl, Water Gun, Sing, sure. Not evolving until Metronome, I think I decided. Ash the Pikachu. I will evolve this eventually if it stays on the team long enough. It's going to be weird to have a Raichu named Ash, but it's going to be fine. Thundershock, Growl, Thunderwave, Quick Attack, and then of course, Red the Ivysaur, also pretty close to evolving, I think. I'm going to miss that Ivysaur sprite. Ivysaur has never looked like that since Tackle, Poison Powder, Leech Seed, and Razor Leaf. I'm carrying Dux, the Farfetch'd, who I assume will be my fly user once I have that HM. And I'm carrying an Oddish that I forgot to nickname that knows Cut. I don't know if Oddish can learn Flash in this generation. I wouldn't bet on it, but I feel like my old Gen 1 move is to catch a Voltorb and teach Flash to that just before Rock Tunnel. Anyway, let's do my routine. Item deposit. I could deposit the Dome Fossil until Cinnabar Island, but I don't especially wanna. I don't need to carry a Nugget around. I'm done with the SS ticket, obviously. Keep the Old Rod for now, because I have not forgotten that I want to fish in the Cerulean Gym. I can deposit a rare candy. Realistically, I can deposit HM1. I don't think I'm ever using that again. Is TM24 Thunderbolt? But I decided I'm just depositing all my TMs for now, right? I think I made that decision. Also, good to go through my bag and confirm that I haven't bought any repels yet. I did decide that I was going to wait until I needed them. So let's see if the Vermilion Pokemart has any. These early gen Pokemarts can be a little bit weird about what they do and don't have. They have repels. It's just regular repels. I think just buying like 30 is probably fine. It's a decent chunk of my money. But not too bad. I won't use one immediately because I might as well catch a Diglett while I'm in Diglett's Cave, which is of course the next place to go. We know this route over here that kind of just exists to connect the region and that I've skipped in many a playthrough, but we know it just ends in a Snorlax right now. Diglett's Cave it is. I don't think I want to train a Diglett, but I might as well try to catch one. What a surprise! Diglett dug this long tunnel. It goes right to Viridian City, and again, a pretty ordinary Pokemon that doesn't get a ton of attention. Because there's just not room for that in later games. Getting a whole area specifically for it in Gen 1. I think that's pretty neat. I think it's pretty neat that there's so many things like that in these games. Again, not everybody gets to shine, like Spearow doesn't stand out much. Krabby doesn't stand out much. I was gonna say Seal, but Seal is cute, so I'm not gonna say it. But there's really something to be said for the world, like... There's really something to be said for the world of Pokemon feeling smaller in some ways in Gen 1. Of course, part of the strength of Pokemon is that the world feels theoretically infinite. Like, you never know how many Pokemon there are, how many places to explore. And from even in Gen 1, they were marketing it that way, right? They were really selling to kids. Like, there could be... These are the Pokemon we know about, but there could be any number of them in the world. There's always more to discover. And that feeling of there always being more to discover and more Pokemon continuing to come out year after year is part of what makes this series special for sure. But I do also like the smaller feeling world of Gen 1, where we know so much less of it than we do now. Honestly, I think one thing I miss from childhood is not being able to just go online and look up every Pokemon question I have, even though it's super convenient now and I wouldn't stop looking them up. You know, when you're a kid and the internet is not as developed as it is now, there's more mystery. But now I'm really getting off topic and rambling about stuff. The original point was about how these games hold up now, and there's a lot that's not the best. I will say also, these were the first Pokemon games ever made. Kind of fair that they didn't nail everything right away, and clearly they got a lot of the formula very right. Which is why the series blew up way beyond Game Freak's expectations. But that's the focus now, looking back at these games 30 years later and seeing how we feel about them now. I'm having fun, and I caught a Diglett. Lives about 1 yard underground where it feeds on plant roots. It sometimes appears above ground. Great, cool story. I had trouble. I was thinking about this ahead of time because I knew I wanted to catch a Diglett. That's his party sprite, by the way. Gen 1 was really limited for those. I think it's Gen 3 that Pokemon started having individual ones, but Gen 2 still had more options than Gen 1. And I think Diglett had its own in that gen. Anyway. I was really struggling to come up with a Diglett nickname. I thought about it ahead of time because I knew I wanted to catch one. Best I got is Mulane. That's the guy in Alola who replaces Hala in the Elite Four in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I think his ace is Alolan Dugtrio. And I got one step before catching that, but yeah, now I think it's time to use Repel. Move them to the top. Alright, that swaps them with the Pokeballs. Well, it's fine. I should use up my Pokeballs soon. Simple layout here, of course. Just a tunnel. But it is neat how it connects different parts of the region together. And now, because I have cut, and cut through the tree at the end, I can go back all the way to the beginning, when previously I was cut off from that. I went to Rock Tunnel, but it's dark and scary. If a Pokemon's flash could light it up... Well, we'll work on that. I guess I am able to wander around back here from the get-go. And before I forget, let's go to Pewter City and get the old Amber. Because honestly, I think I was in some danger of forgetting to do that. Unfortunately, I do have to go to the party every time I want to use an HM in Gen 1. I think I covered that last time. There's some things like that are marginally more annoying compared to even Gen 2. Okay, you get used to them. There we go, back in Pewter City already. Gonna go to the one spot I couldn't earlier. There isn't a hidden item or anything over here, is there? No? Okay. We are proud of 2 fossils of very rare prehistoric Pokemon. Is that what he actually said? That's really weird English. The amber is clear and gold. You can't sneak in the back way. Oh, whatever. Do you know what amber is? Hey, you're not allowed to be here. But whatever, anyway. Yes. There's a lab somewhere trying to resurrect ancient Pokemon from amber. What happens if I say no? Amber is fossilized tree sap. So I haven't actually seen Jurassic Park, but that's how Jurassic Park happens, right? They find dinosaur DNA from blood-sucking insects preserved in amber or something like that. And of course, these games are of that time, much like my favorite basketball team, the Toronto Raptors, who got that name because Jurassic Park was a huge cultural phenomenon at the time. Anyway, this character's immediately one of my favorites. Hey, you can't be back here! Ah, whatever. Anyway, what do you have to tell me about amber? Shh! I think that this chunk of amber contains Pokemon DNA. It would be great if Pokemon could be resurrected from it. But my colleagues just ignore me, so I have a favor to ask. Take this to a Pokemon lab and get it examined. And the kid who just trespassed back here is entrusted with the old amber. Shh! Get the old amber checked! Even though this guy actually seems kind of interested. Well, he doesn't say he's interested. He just says that a lab is doing it. Maybe he thinks they're silly. There we go. I've just been given an artifact from the museum. That guy couldn't get his colleagues on board, so he just handed it off to a trespasser, and now... off I go. I could go to Cinnabar Island. I could go anywhere else. I will, in fact, go to most of the rest of the region before I go there. And hopefully everyone's fine with that. A fainted Pokemon can't fight, but it can still use moves like Cut. I feel like I said this before, probably when I did my Silver Nuzlocke. I did not understand, as a kid, that these people were using Game Boys. And I thought they just had really weirdly shaped heads. The sprites, I couldn't figure out these sprites at first. Even though I make him turn away from his Game Boy, like, obviously his jaw did not just stay in place. But that was how I interpreted it as a kid. I'm looking for Abra. Want to trade one for Mr. Mime? I kind of do, but I don't have an Abra. Aw, oh well. I should get an Abra. Of course, it's hard in this game because they only know teleport, so they just use that immediately. Maybe when I go back up to Cerulean City, I'll see if my Ivysaur is fast enough to put an Abra to sleep. So that'll work for catching one. Once Pokemon learns Flash, you can get through Rock Tunnel. So everybody's giving me that prompt on where to go, and I already looked at the town map last time and saw where the Rock Tunnel is. So the game is actually... it's not like my childhood memory of Zelda games, where you kind of just have to fumble around or know the kid who has a guidebook. The game is actually giving me a lot of prompts on where to go when I pay attention to the dialogue. Hi, remember me? I'm Professor Oak's aide. If you caught 10 kinds of Pokemon, I'm supposed to give you an HM5. This is why I was catching everything early on, although I think I shot way past that target. So, Red, have you caught at least 10 kinds of Pokemon? Great, you have caught 15 kinds of Pokemon. Okay, maybe that's not way past. Congratulations, here you go. There's HM5. The HM Flash lights even the darkest dungeons. Go to Rock Tunnel. You need Flash. And now I have Flash. All very clear. Let's see if Oddish can learn this. Nope, not in Gen 1. Clefairy and Pikachu can, but no thanks. I'll catch somebody else. Abra can probably learn it. Maybe I'll catch 2 Abra. Another Moonstone? Sure. Practically rolling in those now. I did say that I wanted to try going to the badge check people before I'm all the way done. So while I'm in the area of Viridian City, I suppose I'll do that. Look at that, all the way back here already. I don't suppose the gym leader's back. Whoever that gym leader is. The gym's doors are locked, and I'm immediately booted down the ledge, just like before. Alright, I have 3 badges. Can I go challenge the league now? I've already wandered pretty far from Vermilion City. And pretty far from Rock Tunnel, but we'll fix that. But I'm really able to walk all over the region now, huh? Oh, that is the Boulder badge. Go right ahead. What do you know? You can pass here only if you have the Cascade badge. Oh, that is the Cascade badge. Okay then, please go right ahead. You can pass here only if you have the Thunder badge. Oh, that is the Thunder badge. Okay then, please go right ahead. Can I even get to the next guard? Yeah. You can pass here only if you have the Rainbow badge. You don't have the Rainbow badge yet. You have to have it to get to the Pokemon League. Alright. It is kind of neat that you can make that incremental progress here. Of course, once I have the Rainbow badge, I also don't have Surf. But the water part, I guess, is timed well, because you get access to Surf after Soul badge. But yeah, instead of your typical badge check gates that you can only reach late in the game and get through all at once. 3 guards down. Incremental progress, but I do still need all 8 badges. So I don't have time to be goofing off over here. I need to go back through Diglett's Cave. And then up to Cerulean. The thirsty guards still won't let me through, so I have to take a different kind of underground path. Yeah, a lot of the Kanto region around the central part is pretty accessible to me now, and that central part is coming up soon. Before long, it'll be only Cinnabar Island, basically, and Seafoam Islands that I still can't get to. Very different from the more sort of linear, bit-by-bit path of... Well, I was going to say a modern game, but of course then Paldea went somewhat open world. But of like generations 5, 6, 7, 8, I guess. There are like 4 generations of some amount of sequence breaking available at least. 4 generations pretty linear, and now they're doing something else. I don't know if I have a strong preference between them. I did think the open world Paldea was a little bit of a dud. And I really don't mind having to go route by route. But I know some players do now. Anyway, these repels are not actually doing much. I must have just been lucky with encounters. What I was going through earlier. Salesman is too weak to actually ward off all these Diglett. that trade, by the way, which I might go back and do sometime if I remember. Pretty sure it's the only Mr. Mime I can get in this game. A lot of Pokemon in Red and Blue that you can only get once, which is honestly not great. I don't love that. It makes sense for legendaries. But if you're a kid and you're not playing this for the first time, you're not happy with the way you trained your Mr. Mime, you can never get another one. Also, I don't think you can get a Mr. Mime that isn't nicknamed. I mean, some of these I think you can catch in Yellow. So within Gen 1, I don't know about Mr. Mime specifically, within Gen 1 you can catch like Lickitung and stuff, I think. But Red and Blue? There are a lot of one-offs. Then of course I'll get Eevee in this episode. And that's a one-off. You can choose one Eeveelution. But you're not getting another Eevee. Which is kind of weirdly restricting. I mean, again, they're the first Pokemon games. They kind of pushed the Game Boy cartridges to their limits just by having 151 Pokemon. Not judging too harshly, but I'm glad they don't do so many things like that anymore. Not that it would really make sense in modern games anyway. Alright, now we're already back all the way over here. Quick trek up to Cerulean City. Going all over the region, but it's not taking terribly long. Rock Tunnel will take a while. It's a pretty long dungeon. And honestly, not as interesting as Mount Moon, our previous lengthy cave, but it's fine. I do enjoy it as just kind of a gauntlet to get through, but I do think it's one of the weaker dungeons in this game. It just doesn't have a whole lot of interesting wild encounters either. Like, there's Machop, I think there's Onyx, but I don't know that I can be bothered to go for those. Anyway, let's get a $1 million bicycle. Oh, that's a bike voucher. Okay, here you go. Sometimes I forget to do this in a playthrough, and then it's awkward when I get to Cycling Road. But this time I was thinking about that. How do you like your new bicycle? You can take it on Cycling Road and in caves. I don't actually think I'll be using the bike very much because there's no registering an item to the select button in Gen 1. Every single time I use the bike, I have to do this. And honestly, I don't think I mind walking around that much. But I have the bike right now. It's a novelty. Let's try it out. Let's see if I can catch an Abra or two. I think they're up here. Oddish. Actually, I'm not sure that this is the same route as the grass up top, so maybe I should go to that grass. I think they might be different routes. I don't love the tendency of these early games to have different bike music that plays when you get on the bike, because honestly, usually the bike music I think is one of the weaker tracks in the game, and I'd rather be listening to the music for the particular area that I'm in, but I'm enjoying this Gen 1 bike music right now. It's pretty solid. But I know in like the Sinnoh games, I think, Sinnoh has a lot of great background music for different areas, and I was always disappointed when it switched to the bike music instead. I think I'm thinking of the right region there. I also think this is where Abra is found, but I'm not certain. I didn't think to do this. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I'll bail quickly if I don't find one, because I'm not 100% certain this is where they are, but this is where they are. Oh, I don't have sleep powder. That's a bit of a problem with that idea. I have poison powder. Alright, I'm gonna throw my one great ball and hope for the best. That worked out well. Using its ability to read minds, it will identify impending danger and teleport to safety. And you might think I would name my Abra Sabrina, but I have a funnier idea. That was my only great ball though, so I'll come back and catch another Abra. I think, to trade for a Mr. Mime. I'm not going back to the Viridian City area right now anyway. The last thing I'll do before I leave Cerulean is see if my old rod can fish anything up in the gym. I can use it. I got a bite! It works in Gen 1. I knew it worked in Gen 2. Instead of buying a Magikarp, I could have waited and caught one here. That's fine, though. I wonder what other encounters I can get. Maybe I'll come back with a Super Rod, but I don't know if I'll remember to do that. Okay. Anyway, I could leave Cerulean City through the Burgled house. It's still just sitting there with a hole in the wall, but that is no longer the only way to leave town, thankfully. Go this way. A whole new area I haven't seen yet, because everyone's pushing me toward Rock Tunnel, and that is in this direction right here. Opening up the region quite a bit already, and I only have one of the other 4 HMs so far. You have Pokemon with you. You're mine. Okay. I think she's saying she's going to beat me in a battle, but that's a little aggressive. Anyway. Swap to red here. Stun Spore does work on grass types in this generation, so I got some good luck there. Unfortunately, only one instance of good luck. Wow, that might actually have taken it out of KO range. Or not. Not with a crit. Should only need to switch train salesman a little bit longer. Oh, right. Wrap. They get that. Okay, that's gonna be a problem with red being paralyzed. We're just gonna try to power through it. I think. Maybe that's not the right idea. Good miss. Problem is it's Gen 1. NPCs don't have PP. Well, they just have infinite PP, so I can't even stall out its wraps. I just need to break through twice and land tackle. Okay, I get out of the wrap there, but I get fully paralyzed. This Bellsprout's a real problem, actually. This junior trainer might have been right about how this was going to go. Growth is a waste of a turn. It only boosts special, I think, this gen, not attack. Yeah. I think they made it both kinds of attacking stats in Gen 5. I think we're not even very close to that change here. And even though I'm pretty sure NPCs have unlimited power points in Gen 1, it's now spamming growth instead of wrap. Unfortunately, I miss a tackle, so everything that can go wrong in this battle has been. But I just need to land one more. The good thing is the wrap is doing so little damage, and the AI is wasting time on growth sometimes. There we go. Technically, that could have been not unwinnable, because wrap can miss, but almost unwinnable. But the NPC is just not that good. She's only a junior trainer. Full para, but this is an Oddish. It's a lot less scary right now than a Bellsprout. Another full para. What is it, 1 and 4 in the early gens, I think? Yeah, these two grass-type lines, Oddish and Bellsprout, they don't stand out a ton from each other. They're kind of interchangeable gameplay-wise, apart from the wrap shenanigans, which makes sense because they're a version-exclusive pair. But they can be pretty frustrating to play against if you can't just cook them with a fire type or something. A lot of tricky Pokemon in these Gen 1 trainer battles. And here's another Bellsprout. Going straight for growth. Alright, please break through, Red. Okay, just one more. They missed wrap. Broke through the... I thought for sure there'd be a full para there, but nope, broke through. GG. You deceived me. You need light to get through that dark tunnel ahead. Think that's a metaphor? Or you think she's talking about the literal dark tunnel? I'm gonna go heal Red. I don't want Red to be paralyzed. I know, it's annoying after just one battle. Well, let's be honest, one Pokemon on my team is a lot stronger than the others right now. I didn't even really do that deliberately, but welcome to early gen Pokemon. I mean, Ivysaur is just so broken early in the game, and alternatively to being broken, it's just so valuable to have a poison immunity into so much of the early game. This Kanto is so full of poison types, and especially the early parts. A little bit of Pokemon sort of world design that doesn't exist so much anymore. As I talked about earlier, a lot of the Pokemon with more interesting special powers are kind of later in the game, right? And early on it's big rat, big bird, big bug, and lots of poisonous creatures. So lots of opportunities for me to take advantage of Ivysaur's poison immunity and give more experience to that Pokemon. TM30, I don't have to check that one, it's teleport. Wahaha! Great! I was bored, eh? I remember that TM30 is teleport in this gen and then Shadow Ball for a while after this gen. I could teach teleport to probably Jacinth. Honestly, I wouldn't even be shocked if Pikachu can learn teleport in this generation, though I'm guessing it probably can't. And then teleport, I could use teleport to go back to a Pokemon Center more quickly. But I don't really think it's worth. Uh-oh. Okay, should not have switched to Ash there, I guess. I don't really think it's worth, especially when I'm not too terribly far from getting Fly. It's still a ways off, but I mean, it's this episode. Yeah, Pikachu and Clefairy are also just not keeping up. Another reason my Ivysaur is so strong. Running into Onix, not a big deal anymore. Finally having Razor Leaf now sure is nice. That's gonna make a big difference in Rock Tunnel. I'm not just using 10 PP Vine Whip against all the hikers in there. We're getting a preview already. Keep it... I said something like, keep it going A. I didn't read it. Oh wait, I'm out of Pokemon. You sure had guts standing up to me there, eh? Alright, that guy has a particular way of speaking. I have to go through here to get back to the Pokemon Center anyway. So, let's battle this guy, and then I think there's another one as well. Who's that walking with those good-looking Pokemon? I don't know if that's quite the inflection that was intended there. Okay, we got a Growlithe. We're starting to see some fire types and stuff. Lots of sailors with water types as well. I'm actually going to switch to Jacinth here and not to my grass type. Maybe I can water gun this. Roar does nothing in Gen 1, so that's fine. Immediate Ember Burn, but let's see, this water gun should do good damage. Okay, never mind. Well, it should do good damage, but it didn't. I don't think Bite has a flinch chance in Gen 1. Maybe it does. Not worried about it unless I see it, because I think it doesn't. Burn damage is so little. Alright, beat the Growlithe. Also surprised that Bite seemed to do more than Ember there, but it actually makes sense, right? Because with Stab on Ember, there's the same base power. That's accounting for Stab, same base power after Stab. And then Growlithe, I think, has a higher attack stat, so Bite would be stronger. Higher attack than Special, that is. This Charmander isn't doing too much so far. Synth might be able to beat this. If not, I actually think I'll go back to Salesman. Never mind. We're good. Nice level up. Nice defeated Junior Trainer. Out like a light. Lots of people talk about light here with the Dark Tunnel coming up. Keep walking. Is it a bug catcher? I think so. I got up early every day to raise my Pokemon from cocoons. Yeah, well, that answers that. Still some bug catchers around. We do see fewer of them by this point, of course. But not quite done with them yet. This has got to be one of the better bug catchers in the region. And sure enough, I don't think any other bug catcher before now had a Beedrill. I paused there because I thought I heard a weird noise, but I think it was just traffic outside. Tackle through this. Good damage. Only 2 hits with Fury attack. We take those for sure. Don't think that crit mattered, but still nice to see. Salesman 1 level away from turning into a Gyarados. Big moment coming up in the not too distant future. Ooh, that Fury Cutter hit 3 times. A little bit more serious, huh? And another probably unnecessary crit. Bugcatcher defeated. What? What a total waste of time. Well, you don't enjoy playing the game for its own sake? Couldn't be me. I have to collect more than bugs to get stronger. There we go. That's got to be one of the last Bugcatchers in the game. Starting to understand the value of diversifying his party. We're not in Viridian Forest anymore. Alright, let's get my Pikachu back. And then press on. Guess I'll also be cut off from Fuchsia City until I get the Poke Flute, so maybe I was overstating it a little when I said soon everywhere except islands. Soon everything will be unlocked pretty much except that last stretch of the mainland behind the 2 Snorlax. Then it'll just be islands, then finally Indigo Plateau. Not bad how this region kind of gradually opens up. With some of the extreme areas a little later. I really don't mind the linear paths on some other Pokemon games, but it is kind of nice to go back to this. Ha 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 ha! Come on, dude! Okay, great introduction. 10 out of 10, no notes. And here's a dude. Clicking Water Gun with Clefairy is still not getting old. Although it's not doing a ton of damage anymore to things that aren't double weak to it. Geodude and Onix, it's like I'm fighting Brock again. But Brock is old news now. He looked kind of intimidating back then, but I took down the Lightning American. Ha 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 ha! You beat me fair. Ha 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 ha! Us hardy guys always laugh. Alright, so that guy always says that guy always laughs, and the other guy that guy always says laugh. Laugh, laugh, laugh. That guy always laughs, the other guy always says A. Quite some characters among these hikers. I guess you need to be a bit of a character to thrive out here. In this harsh wilderness part of the region. Go, my super bug Pokemon. This area given back to nature, as of course there's an abandoned power plant. Coming up soon, but it is abandoned. Basically belongs to wild electric type Pokemon now. Not back in use like it is next generation. Alright Ash, you can be this Caterpie, right? Please. It's a bug catcher, surely you can still handle those. Not a great start. That tackle did more damage than I like to see, but Thundershock is doing more back, so that's okay. Pikachu is pretty weak though in red and blue. Not quite getting the special treatment in yellow yet. And even then it's pretty weak in that game. Weedle. I'll go ahead and switch to my poison immunity. Poison the status, not poison the type, but you knew that. Don't know why it says that's not very effective. I'm pretty sure grass is weak to poison in Gen 1. I tried to check, and I didn't see anything to the contrary. I think there are sometimes text errors for for particular type matchups in Gen 1. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. I think that's the first Venonat I've seen in this playthrough. So again, showing that the bug catchers are perhaps getting a little more serious, even as the most serious trainers just are not bug catchers anymore. They've grown up and tried other things. My bugs! If you don't like bug Pokemon, you bug me. Good one. I'm taking Rock Tunnel to go to Lavender. Great, me too. Do you have a light to get through there smoothly? It's a dark tunnel, you know. Alright, let's see if I can double slap through this. Uh-oh. Okay, it missed. Uh-oh, I missed. Uh-oh, a crit. And only 2 hits. Oh, this is going great. What a moveset. Hyper Fang, Quick Attack, Tackle, Tail Whip. No! A third hit there would have done it. I think I'll still beat this, but then lose to whatever's next. Swap to Water Gun there for the accuracy, of course. Yeah, don't even get a Water Gun into this Diglett. Let's be honest, this team is not very impressive outside of Ivysaur. I am like a young kid again, walking around with Pikachu, Clefairy, and Magikarp. But it'll get better. Gyarados soon, Venusaur soon, and of course more Pokemon to catch. Deeper in. Get some Ekans shenanigans again. It's starting off with a Leer that fails is absolutely fine, of course. I could probably just tackle through this. Look at that level difference. Well, that was a crit. But it's just habit to fight an Ekans this way, and it is going to pay off against this Wrap. Looks like the next Leech Seed will knock it out. And what's his last Pokemon? Level 32. I think that might be Venusaur level. Ivysaur evolves earlier than the other two for some reason. As if it wasn't already broken enough this gen. Just clear out the Sandshrew. A Pokemon I don't think I can catch in red version. Too bad, it's cute. I don't think it's making his team anyway, though. Can't measure up. Yeah, I don't know why they had Ivysaur evolve earlier than Charmeleon and Wartortle. Maybe they saw how many weaknesses it had and thought it needed that for balance. But I don't think that was true, if that was what they were thinking. I'm not complaining, though. There's my Venusaur. That sprite is a little bit blocky. Maybe a little hard to make out the features when it's all one color and it's a chunky creature like that, but you'll have to see it anyway. Are you off to Rock Tunnel too? I sure am, and I have just the Pokemon to get me through there. I feel like there are all kinds of creative ways that young kids playing Pokemon for the first time in Gen 1 mistook features in this sprite. Like, I can see the flower kind of looking like a face. If you're a young kid, you don't know what's going on. Like, the opening at the top kind of looks like a mouth. You could maybe see some eyes in the petals. I bet kids got really unintentionally creative with that. The Ivysaur sprite was more interesting, but I'm glad to have my fully evolved starter. Let's go. Ha ha ha! Aren't you a little toughy? The hikers all have so much enthusiasm. Like I said, I guess you need it for this to be the part of the region you want to hang out in. But it does give them some personality, that's for sure. I like it. Let's see if we can get Salesman involved next. I mean, that probably is what's going to happen. Let's see if we can do that soon. That back sprite is a mess. I mean, you can make out that it's a big frog-like creature with a flower on its back, but yeah, even whatever I said about the front sprite, it was clearer than the back sprite. I think even with a fighting type here, we can still just Razor Leaf through this team. Oh, did I miss one? What's that? Ha ha ha! Kids should be tough. He saw my Venusaur sprite and he said, "What's that?" But he's taking the loss well. Don't you dare condescend to me. Okay, I wasn't planning to. Wow, it is just blowing snow outside. I can see the building next door, but not super clearly. This might be the first Meowth in the playthrough. It's a nice sprite. Might as well give Ash a try. Ash is gonna lose, but might as well try. This is gonna go a little bit differently from Ash Ketchum's battles with Team Rocket. Maybe I get some incredible luck with Thunder Wave, or maybe I don't even get to go for Thunder Wave because Meowth outspeeds and gets me with Stab Bite. Bite, again, a normal type attack in Gen 1, so that does have Stab. Honestly, the only thing that would be more appropriate on this snow day is if I were at Seafoam Islands already at this point. No, you're too much. You're obviously talented. Good luck to you. Well, thanks. Alright, yeah, let's see about catching a Voltorb. There's a river over there that I could explore if I had Surf. Of course, I know where it leads, but nice little optional out-of-the-way area, with, of course, a good reward if you do explore. Found a Voltorb immediately. Didn't really think about what Pokemon I had in the lead. Do this. Hopefully I catch it before I run out of balls. I'm not sure how many I have. I think not very many. Maybe I could have stocked up at Vermilion City, but 4 balls. I didn't stock up in Vermilion City, and I'm not going to go trek back to a city right now. Unless I run out of balls without catching this Voltorb. Which I think will probably not happen. 3 more chances, that's pretty good, right? 2 more chances, that's pretty good, right? Yeah, I'd say so. What do I name a Voltorb? Usually found in power plants, easily mistaken for a Pokeball, they have zapped many people. Well, I named my Diglett in reference to a regional variant. I could do that for Voltorb too. Now let's see if it actually learns Flash in this generation. After I go down to the Pokemon Center. There's one more trainer out here. I like to battle this trainer before going into the tunnel, because the tunnel's going to be a slog anyway. Kind of looks like there might be something to explore down there. I've been to a Pokemon gym a few times, but I lost each time. Yeah. The tunnel's long enough without doing a battle before I go in. Pikachu. Cool. Not a very strong Pokemon, if we're being honest. Uh-oh. Alright, Red. You can handle this. You've been paralyzed before. And broken through. That was a crit. Wow, that did nothing. Alright, so many chances to break through here. And put up a fight, for sure. But still a Pikachu. This is Gen 1. Ash's Pikachu would probably do about the same. Oh, and she has a Clefairy. Alright, we got some similar teams, but she's missing some stuff that I have. Oh, blew it again. I noticed some Pokemaniacs prowling around. Uh-oh, that's scary. I don't know why. Rock Tunnel is a pretty uninteresting cave compared to somewhere like Mount Moon, if we're being honest. I enjoy it, again, as like a challenge to get through that really marks some progress on your playthrough. I think it does well at that. But it is the second big cave, third if you count Diglett's Cave in this game. And there are some Pokemon that I could catch there that I haven't been able to catch before, but for this playthrough I'm not interested in them. I'm sure a lot of kids were excited to encounter like Machop, right? I shouldn't be bashing the Rock Tunnel too much. But it's just going to be a slug to get through, get some training for the team. It'll be fine. First, let's talk to the people in this out-of-the-way wilderness Pokemon Center. I heard that ghosts haunt Lavender Town. Uh-oh, that's where I'm going next. That's kind of scary. I sold a useless nugget for $5,000. Nice. Maybe I should do that. The element types of Pokemon make them stronger than some types and weaker than others. Wait. Oh, that is... I didn't misread that. That is what he said. Stronger than. I don't think that's how that's supposed to be worded. It implies that he's just straight up saying that some types are better than others. Which I guess is true, but... I didn't really think that was intentional world building. I think he means that they're strong against some types and weak against others, but maybe he means what he said. Oh, I forgot to check my Voltorb. Do I need cut anymore? Not really. Not right now. Not for this next little stretch. So let's deposit... I can deposit Ducks, actually. Keep the 2 HMs that I actually have since I don't have Fly yet. Let's withdraw Melly. Let's see if Melly can actually learn Flash. It's Gen 1, you never know. Okay, good. Melly learned Flash. Ready for the tunnel. Oh, Melly's poisoned. That's fine. Pokemon can use HM moves out of battle even when they're fainted. Oh, the poison wasn't cured on being sent to the PC. That's a Gen 1 quirk that I forgot about. Anyway, you can tell this is a long tunnel, because look at it go. We're gonna go way down there. And I heard ghosts haunt Lavender Town, but we'll worry about that when we get there. It's dark. You need a light to get through here. Good thing I have one. You don't really need one, right, if you've memorized the path, but you pretty much have to have memorized the path in Gen 1. That was just a dark room. Not the little bit of light, little circle of light around you that there is in later gens. Nothing I want to catch here, so I'll use Repel. Not really sure Salesman will keep anything away right now, but we'll see. But there might be an item there. There could be a hidden one. I don't really care. Melly fainted. No more poison animation. And here we go. Pokemon fight. Ready, go. There's a Pokemaniac after all. With a Cubone. The Pokemon that NPCs use are getting a little more varied over time, which is good. Cubone's a neat one to run into here. Oh, that water gun just misses a 2-hit KO, huh? As long as it spams Growl, that's fine. I do still have that Bubble Beam TM sitting in the box, but I don't think I want to use it on a Clefairy that might not be long for the team. Cubone only attacked once, lucky me. And it's Gyarados time, let's go. That's gonna change some things. Finally a second strong Pokemon. His other Pokemon is Slowpoke. I might as well switch. It's like -2 Double Slap or resisted Water Gun. Channel mascot right there. But I still have to knock it out. That did a lot. And Ash became confused. Come on, Ash. If you don't win this... Well, I don't have to worry about whatever the rest of that sentence was going to be. Good job, Ash. Another level up. Or 2. Pokemaniac defeated. Game over. But for Salesman the Magikarp, game just beginning. Gyarados sprite is pretty good. Bite. Physical, normal type. In Gens 2 and 3, Bite is a special, or Dark is a special type, and so all Dark type attacks are special, including Bite. But there's no Dark type yet. Bite is normal type attack, so it's physical. Salesman is going to benefit quite a bit from that. It is, of course, stronger than Tackle. Oh well, I'll get a Zubat as I go. Okay. I think I'm forgetting context for that line, but sure. The layout of Rock Tunnel is kind of fun. All the meandering you do, I enjoy it. I draw Pokemon when I'm home. More Pokemaniacs prowling around. This guy has a Slowpoke. I was about to praise the Pokemaniacs for having interesting Pokemon that I haven't often seen before, but this one, of course, is repeated from the previous battle. Oh well. That was a crit. Uh-oh. It's not great damage. It's still fine without a crit. It's reasonable damage. Now they disable the Bite. My only two other moves are Splash and Tackle. Tackle will take longer to knock this out, but if it's spamming Disable, that's fine. No, disabled no more. We'll Tackle, and it gets the KO anyway. I don't think it needed the crit, but we got one. There we go. Salesman can fight its own battles now. Woo, I'm exhausted. Oh, I'm just getting going. Pokemaniacs are giving decent money, too. I'm an artist, not a fighter. Which is good that they're giving decent money, because I need to buy balls next time I'm at a mart. I don't often come here, but I will fight you. Okay. Not really sure of the connection between those two thoughts. And I wouldn't expect you to often come here, but... Sure. It's when trainers' eyes meet they must battle, not when trainers' eyes meet in areas that they frequent. Oh, waking up immediately, that's good. Of course, you don't get to move on the same turn in Gen 1. But hey, the Oddish doesn't get too much recovery before it's knocked out by another Bite. There we go, what an incredible transformation when Magikarp evolves. Truly something special. Again, especially all the way back in Gen 1 when there were fewer Pokemon. And there wasn't really anything else like this. I think that a Bite will knock this Bulbasaur out before that Leech Seed does any damage. Yep. Thank you, Gen 1 mechanics. Oh, I lost. I like tiny Pokemon. Big ones are too scary. Well, you're in a weird place to be saying that. Could run into an Onix down here. Do you know about costume players? Talking about cosplay all the way back in the 90s? Of course, I'm sure cosplay is way older than that. Never heard someone say costume players outside of this interaction, though. Look at me go, just spamming Bite until I run into a hiker. This is great. I could switch here to get rid of the attack drop, but Gyarados is immune to Bone Club. So this is still a super favorable matchup, especially as Cubone keeps missing its growls. Yeah, look at that. Those might be the only two moves it has. So it's taking a lot of bites to knock this out. It would take even more if I weren't dodging most of the growls, so that's lucky. Oh, got a crit there. Also lucky. But yeah, if it can't damage me back, that's fine. Well, that's that. Sure is. Costume players dress up as Pokemon for fun. I think Pokemaniacs do that pretty often in later gens, don't they? I think there are hikers here. Yep. So I'm going to swap my water gun user to the front. Look at that! Gyarados has the snake party sprite. A little bit of variety. Of course, Magikarp also had a party sprite that was unique in this party. But there we go. It's a snack now. My Pokemon techniques will leave you crying. Alright, where's that hiker enthusiasm? That was a little aggressive, don't you think? Guys outside were friendlier. Maybe you have to be made of sterner stuff inside. Not that it helps against water gun. I give, you're a better technician. In mountains, you'll often find rock-type Pokemon. Thanks, bro. Hit me with your best shot. Yeah, these guys are a little bit more intense than the guys outside, huh? Just as boisterous, I guess. But in a less goofy, more hardcore way. That was a crit. Not very effective. I'm running out of bites already. That's the thing about Rock Tunnel. It's good training, but it takes a while to get through here. Karate Chop, of course, normal type in Gen 1, so that was neutral and a crit. I say of course, I don't know why it's normal type in Gen 1, but it is. Uh-oh. More of this. I was a little worried about that when I switched to my Clefairy instead of my Venusaur, but I thought it'd probably be okay. And it was. It only lasted 2 turns. And Onix's attack stat died for a cool battle. Cool looking battle in Brock's gym, so bye Onix. Fired away. One kind of unfortunate way that a Pokemon got to shine in a unique way in Gen 1. That Onix's attack stat died for the spectacle of that giant rock snake being the very first gym leader's ace. I'll raise my Pokemon to beat yours, kid. This tunnel goes a long way, kid. Well, I know. I think I'm like midway through now. There's still a lot of trainers to beat. I don't think I'm midway through the trainers. Minimize? I might as well drop Growl for Minimize. That could be fun. Not bothering with a switch to my Gyarados right now. I'm running out of bites anyway. Go straight to the big gun, which can then also beat another rock type if he has one. It does feel kind of weird to not be to not know how close my Pokemon are to leveling up. I mean, you can kind of get an intuition for it when you've been training the same Pokemon for a while, but I didn't know that was about to happen. Right now. Oh, you win. Watch for Onix. It can put the squeeze on you. Yeah, we did see that in the previous battle. Maybe I'm lost in here. Maybe I've gotten past the boisterous hikers and the competitive hikers, and now I'm getting the tired hikers. This guy looks like he's sounds like he's running out of gas. But anyway, that Onix tried to put the squeeze on me, but it missed. Lucky me. Bye, Onix. The little normal type Clefairy taking down these giant serpents. Okay, well this one connected with a bind. And then it stopped going for that, so that's lucky for me. If this guy's last Pokemon is another Onix, I might want to switch because of that Screech. Nope, just Geodude. We should be fine. Nice. Having the only water coverage on the team really paying off for Chizinth right now. I guess I could get the Bubble Beam TM and teach that to Salesman, but I don't know if I want to. It doesn't really matter because I get Surf. Oh, Surf is still a ways off. It might be worth using the Bubble Beam TM for that in the meantime. I don't know. Ease up. What am I doing? Which way is out? Poor guy. That sleeping Pokemon on Route 12 forced me to take this detour. Now, that guy doesn't even want to be here. He's not one of those other hikers here for the adventure. Poor guy. Outsiders like you need to show me some respect. And now we're back to the weird hikers. Okay. I mean weird, but harmless. All good. Oh, a Graveler. That's an interesting sprite. Graveler hasn't looked like that in a while. I guess it's leaning forward, so the arms are kind of emphasized. It's still recognizably the same creature. But yeah, that's a bit different from what I'm used to seeing now. I think it is mostly the pose. I give! You're talented enough to hike. Okay, great, but I think maybe I have different goals from you. I feel like there should be items down these other passages. Maybe there are hidden ones and I just can't be bothered to look for them. I feel like there should be visible items. Maybe in other gens. Hikers leave twigs as trail markers. Hope this Jigglypuff doesn't get too annoying. Well, we'll see how it takes a bite. It takes one pretty well. Maybe another one after that defense curl. I didn't see what happened there. If it flinched and flinch chance was confirmed, I genuinely didn't see specifically. Oh, yeah, okay. I was wrong. Bite does have a flinch chance in Gen 1. Good to know. Uh-oh, this Meowth is faster, and it probably knows Bite, too. Yep. I'm the one who could flinch here. Never mind. Oh, I did my best. I want to go home. I think this is where the Rock Slide tutor is in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Because they took a bunch of the weird Gen 1 TMs. I guess Rock Slide isn't weird, but it is a Gen 1 TM, and then it wasn't a TM for a while. And they made it into move tutors. I can get that TM in Celadon City, actually, so pretty soon. Although I don't think a ton of Pokemon actually learn Rock Slide in Gen 1. I don't know. Ha ha ha! Can you beat my power? You know how some people mistakenly thought that Slugma was a Gen 3 Pokemon? Because they missed it in the Gen 2 games? I think I've heard that about Skarmory as well. I thought Rock Slide was a Gen 2 move, because I never noticed. You just don't see it much in Gen 1. It's an obscure TM that I'm not sure very many things can even learn. But it does exist. I think it doesn't have a flinch chance in Gen 1. Maybe it does. The move certainly exists. But I thought it was a Gen 2 move, because I think the first thing I ever saw use it was probably Lance's Aerodactyl in Silver. Or something like that. Of course, I also played Gen 2 before I played Gen 1, so maybe that's not saying much. But, you know, I knew a lot of moves from like Gen 1 anime and stuff. Flamethrower, Water Gun, Razor Leaf. I knew a lot of the Gen 1 moves. Or, like, reading the handbook, right? It would tell you what moves... That's probably what it was. Reading the official handbook, it would tell you what moves a Pokemon learned by level up. And was mostly accurate about that. But I don't think anything in Gen 1 gets Rock Slide by level up. So that's probably why I didn't know about the move. Until I saw it in Gen 2. Oops, outmuscled. I go for power because I hate thinking. There's some good Pokemon dialogue right there. Still an early version, but we take those. You have a Pokedex? I want one too. Slowpoke. Thought I remembered this guy having Slowpoke and thought about moving my Pikachu to the front, but I wasn't sure I was remembering correctly. Oh well. Splash was disabled, that's fine. This is my last bite though, I'm out of PP now. Got a flinch with the last one, that's pretty good. Let's see if Ash can handle this, and if not, I have Red in the back. That's a 3-hit KO. Not good. Thunder Shock was disabled. Not good. Let's go for Thunder Wave into, I guess, spamming Quick Attack. Volpera? Get another one and then disable ending? Is that too much to ask? Volpera, but disable didn't end? Oh, now it does. It's at the beginning of the action. Okay. 3 Volperas in a row. Well, we definitely take those. Ash wins a battle again. One more Slowpoke. Para? No Volpera. Well, Ash's plot armor came through for a while there, but it didn't last. Plot armor's having trouble keeping up with the level curve of the game, I guess. Shoot! I'm so jealous. When you finish your Pokedex, can I have it? Yeah, I'm definitely not going to remember that request when that time comes, if ever it does. Sorry. Eek! Don't try anything funny in the dark. Interesting thing to say to an 11-year-old. Again, I'm out of bites, so it's just tackle now. Yeah. And the sleep's going to be a bit of an issue. If this Bellsprout defeats Salesman, so be it. I get Red in cleanly. Yeah, Bellsprout is kind of starting to take over for Ekans as the annoying rap spammer, huh? Which is not necessarily a role that needed to be filled, but it's Gen 1. Bellsprout taking it to another level by also getting Sleep Powder. So you see I can wake up while wrapped, but then the wrap still stops me from moving. Salesman managed to clutch up and beat that Bellsprout, though. Let's see about this Clefairy. We dodge a Sing? Alright, well, my Clefairy is stronger. Okay, maybe I should have done that. I'm gonna go for minimize this time, because I want to see early gen minimize where the sprite gets smaller. I love it. It's like that in Gen 2 as well. Not sure that that happens in any gens after 2. But yeah, I love seeing the Pokemon sprite get tiny. It was too dark. I saw a Machop in this tunnel. Well, she's calmed down, I guess. You have Pokemon. Let's start. Ash could beat this, but I won't get the chance. All these 2-hit double slaps. Of course, that's how it goes with multi-hit moves, isn't it? That one got 3. Good time for that. Don't really want to be spamming double slap with reduced accuracy, so I'll just swap to red here. And there's a Bellsprout. Should be fine. Just a tackle or 2. Almost 1. Is going to be 2, though. You play hard. Woo, I'm all sweaty now. Alright, lots of enthusiastic trainers. At least one more trainer before I'm out of the tunnel. And then this is an especially tricky dungeon because there are also trainers outside. I came this far for Pokemon. You get out of the end here and there's still more trainers to battle. And my team is usually pretty exhausted when I get to this point in a playthrough. And I often try to avoid the trainers right outside the tunnel. Then I'll go back and battle them probably, but... Well, I should get some extra money for this battle at least. Yeah, look at that, I'm down to my last Pokemon. Fortunately, it's my strongest one. It hasn't actually had to do very much in this tunnel. This should probably be fine to just battle the people outside, but they definitely add an extra layer. You get all the way out of this long dungeon and there's still more. I was hoping that would miss. Oh well. Woke up immediately. We take those. Okay. Still a lot of junior trainers with Pidgey and Rattata, but I got 40 extra bucks. Like I said, a little bit more variety in NPC teams, which is nice. You looked cute and harmless. Oh, fooled you. There we go, I've already reached the end of the tunnel. Not bad, huh? I feel like in many a playthrough it's taken me longer, but like I said, there's still trainers out here. I'm feeling a bit faint from this tough hike. Weird thing to say right before battling, but she does want to battle despite feeling a bit faint. So I can't really argue when trainers' eyes meet, after all. Have I seen a Pidgeotto yet in this playthrough? I feel like that must be coming up soon. Oh, maybe my rival had one. I think he did. I swear I didn't know there was going to be one in this battle when I said that. But it did feel like about time for these junior trainers to start having them. So, it makes sense. Nice crit. I'm not up to it. Well, it wasn't my idea that we battle. The Pokemon here are so chunky. There should be a pink one with a floral pattern. I'm not really sure what the connection is there. I want a pink floral Pokemon, but these ones are chunky. Well, kids trying to describe things, I guess. Didn't people, when Gen 5 came out, or when Muna was revealed before Gen 5 came out, didn't people dig up this specific dialogue? And go, look at that, there is a pink Pokemon with a floral pattern, it's Muna. I think I remember seeing this posted in places. Rock Tunnel, you don't say. Ha 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 aha! We're back to whimsical hikers. This guy take it to the next level with a special laugh. Should I teach Bubble Beam to Salesman? I don't know why I'm conflicted. Once I get Surf, Well, I guess some things could probably learn Bubble Beam and not Surf, but once I get Surf, it's largely moot. There are no double battles in this game, so I don't even have to worry about the drawback that Surf can have for later gen playthroughs. Oh look, a Geodude and an Onix. I'll be honest, that combination is getting old now. It was cool when Brock used one. It was kind of cool the next time I saw one, because it felt like I was making progress. Not being so bothered about facing that duo anymore, but I probably should not still be seeing that duo now. Ha ha ha, not laughing. Ha hey fever. Ha 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 choo. My bad, you're not whimsical. Ha 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 choo, snort, snivel. I attributed to whimsy what was actually medical distress. My bad. Ah, this mountain air is delicious. Now we're back to the whimsical hikers. Another Onix. I could at least start using Rhyhorn soon, one hopes. Now that I've said that, maybe this guy's second Pokemon will turn out to be Rhyhorn, but I doubt it. Ah, Graveler. Well, that's something. So many rock and ground types in Gen 1. Kind of an obvious combination, I guess. That cleared my head. I feel bloated on mountain air. Hi, kid. Want to see my Pokemon? Oh, is this a Pokemaniac prowling around? Sure is. That's a cool Pokemon. And so's that. You could even use that one as a mascot if you wanted. Oh no, my Pokemon. I don't like you for beating me. Well, at least I know exactly where I stand with that guy. Got a max ether right there. This guy's very clear and direct. We got the Pokemon Tower already, because of course this is Lavender Town. Yep, at the tower right there. The tower looks kind of odd in Gen 1. New Sylph Scope. Make the invisible plain to see. Sylph Company. Wonder if that'll matter. It's kind of odd that the tower is a cave entrance. It's just built into the cliff in this version, which is interesting. I don't think that's the case in later games. May the souls of Pokemon rest easy. Pokemon Tower. Is this the town sign? Lavender Town, the noble purple town. For there not being a ton here, I mean, the tower is pretty interesting, especially the wild Pokemon inside, but this place sure did capture a lot of imaginations. Now I have some Pokemon that need healing. And a town to explore. Cubone. There we go with the S to make a Pokemon plural again. Pretty unusual. Gen 1 though. I guess the localizers, I don't know, they were doing that, or they hadn't decided not to at least. Cubones wear skulls, right? People will pay a lot for one. It's kind of worrisome. I hope no Pokemon are getting killed for their skulls or anything. By criminals, say. I saw Cubone's mother die trying to escape from Team Rocket. Okay, well that's pretty direct. I saw Cubone's mother die trying to escape from Team Rocket. I'm a little surprised actually to see a young kid in a 90s game mentioning death that explicitly. I feel like that was, maybe it was a little bit later that like children's shows, at least in the West of that time, were always like, I will destroy you, or at most, but they wouldn't say the word die. Pokemon, I guess. No stranger to dealing with such themes. Obviously that Marowak is gonna come up. And even Scarlet and Violet have death in them too. But... so does ZA. All the Gen 9 games have death in them. So Pokemon not hiding from it, but I'm a little bit surprised. I guess the flip side is, these being the very first games in the series, localizers were... But they had a little bit more edge to them that localizers didn't always file off. Kind of like how guns sometimes appeared in the early episodes of the anime. Even in the North American dub. But there we go. I saw Cubone's mother die trying to escape from Team Rocket. Also, in Gen 1, I'm going to find out when I explore Mr. Fuji's house and whatnot. Maybe I missed something all these years. I don't think there's a specific Cubone we meet that is the child of the Marowak. I think they just, like, really awkwardly go, this is Cubone's mother. And I always was like, what Cubone? They're just trying to force a story around a character that we don't meet. Unless I'm going to find out that it's at Mr. Fuji's house or something and I just never noticed. Of course, in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, they make it very clear the Cubone makes some appearances that are unskippable. But yeah, Cubone's mother, if I'm playing this blind for the first time, I don't know what this kid is talking about, other than she's talking about death. Team Rocket will do anything for the sake of gold. Okay, gold. So, it's pretty clear though what's going on in this town, right? Cubone's mother died trying to escape from Team Rocket. Cubone skulls are valuable. Team Rocket will do anything for gold. I wonder what kind of conflict I'm going to find here. Ghosts appeared in Pokemon Tower. I think they're the spirits of Pokemon that the Rockets killed. Team Rocket are killing a lot of Pokemon, huh? They just came in here and started mowing them down, because there are a lot of ghosts in that tower. Oh my god. Do you believe in ghosts? I think I know what she says if I say no. Ha ha ha, I guess not. That white hand on your shoulder, it's not real. What? Didn't they do... What was... Was it Pokemon Origins that was the animated series that followed Red's journey? There's so many of those little animated series that mark a new generation or something. I don't remember all of them. I think it was Origins. Didn't they do a gag where we actually saw a white hand on Red's shoulder during that dialogue? I think I remember that being a thing. I think I remember not knowing about that dialogue until I watched that. Really? So they're believers? If I say yes, she acts like, wow, you actually believe in ghosts? That's unusual. Can't win. This town is known as the grave site of Pokemon. Memorial services are held in Pokemon Tower. So this is where Pokemon are traditionally buried, and also Team Rocket showed up here and just started mowing Pokemon down. This place is grim on 2 levels. I'm searching for items that raise the abilities of Pokemon during a single battle. Single battle as in during one battle is what he means. Not single instead of double battle. There are no double battles yet. A single battle is in it wears off when the battle is over. X attack, X defend, X speed, and X special are what I'm after. Do you know where I can get them? You know revive? It revives any fainted Pokemon. Great. Cool story. Can I buy some balls? Great balls? I'll take 20. Why not? Now, a few houses. Hello, hello! I am the official name raider! We found the name raider! Let's go! Want me to rate the nickname of your Pokemon? Which Pokemon should I look at? I have this Oddish that I forgot to nickname, and then I know I have some other things in the PC. I'm pretty sure I meant to name this Erica. Like the gym leader coming up soonish. Okay, this Pokemon has been renamed Erica. That's a better name than before. And I will be back, I've got more. Interesting that the music is different in the Name Raider's house. It's this special area. I hate those horrible rockets. That poor Cubone's mother. It was killed trying to escape from Team Rocket. Kyarugu! Okay, so this is the Cubone. But this is a totally optional house. I did not know, genuinely until now, that the Cubone actually appears in Gen 1. When I was thinking about this part of the game ahead of this playthrough, I thought, there's a good chance that it does, and I just missed it when I was playing this as a kid. Finally, confirmation. That's what you come to this series for, right? Because I actually explore stuff and interact with things. It felt weird to me that there wasn't a Cubone that the story actually put in front of me, but that's because it's optional to encounter, kind of out of the way over here. Not like Let's Go, where it is you do get some mandatory sightings of it. This poor Cubone, though, orphaned by those horrible rockets. There it is. There is a Cubone. I'm not being silly. I missed that in Gen 1 for a long time. And it was just like, this is Cubone's mother. What Cubone are you talking about? It is introduced really awkwardly, right? Probably because there were just limits to what they could do to introduce it. Although, they can make, they can trigger characters to appear in certain places. Rival battles work that way. You'd think Cubone would show up the first time you go into the Pokemon Tower or something, instead of just everyone talking about a Cubone that you might or might not have actually met. Oh well, we met it now. Lavender Volunteer Pokemon House. This will be Mr. Fuji's area. That's odd. Mr. Fuji isn't here. Where'd he go? This is really Mr. Fuji's house. He's really kind. He looks after abandoned and orphaned Pokemon. Pokemon Monthly Grand Prize Drawing. The application form is gone. It's been clipped out. That's dramatic. Nidorino here says Gau. And Psyduck says Guapa. And that's Lavender Town, except the towers. Let's go check that out, I suppose. Oh. I wasn't done with the name raider. I'll go back later. I came to pray for my Clefairy. Sniff, I can't stop crying. Poor guy. Did you come to pay respects? Bless you. That's the thing, right? This is a place of mourning even without Team Rocket killing stuff here. Because this is just where Pokemon are traditionally buried, in this tower. And just on top of that, Team Rocket also showed up and started killing more Pokemon. It's a little much. My Growlithe, why did you die? Pokemon Tower was erected in the memory of Pokemon that had died. I am a channeler. There are spirits up to mischief. I wonder why. Like, again, Gen 1 is kind of darker and grimier and rougher around the edges than most other generations, but I wonder why there's a stretch in the game where it's emphasized so much that Pokemon die. And so much focus is put on mourning them. I think probably to an extent it's because there's a ghost type. And so they wanted to explore ghosts in this world, and this was a natural way to do it. I wonder whether it's also to an extent because Pokemon are meant to be creatures that we bond with, and this is some world building that shows another side of that bond. I think that makes decent sense, right? Is that what they were cooking? I don't know, but it makes sense to me. And here's Blue. Hey Red, what brings you here? Your Pokemon don't look dead. I can at least make them faint. Let's go, pal. I'm gonna say now, I'm not fond of the fan theory that Blue's Raticate is dead, and he buried it or is paying respects here. I understand the theory. He had Raticate, and he doesn't anymore. We're never gonna see it again, even in this battle. I think I don't like the theory. I mean, it's not like I have to be especially sad about... Well, I especially hate the version of the theory that we killed his Raticate. A Pokemon accidentally dying in a battle is crazy and, like, undermines... I mean, Team Plasma was right, if that's the case. But... I think his dialogue doesn't sit well with me if his Raticate is dead. I mean, you could say that's his personality. His rival shows up and he immediately turns on that flippin' cocky attitude. Your Pokemon don't look dead, but I can make them faint at least. It rubs me the wrong way, though, if that's what he's saying when he's here to pay his respects. Maybe, I mean, it could be a character moment, right? That's just, he puts on that face and acts that way around his rival, even when it's not how he's feeling deep down. But I don't think he's a developed enough character for me to assume something like that. And this guy just kind of shows up in places anyway for rival battles, right? This is not the weirdest place he's going to show up for a rival battle. I'm going to have some questions when I see him in Saffron City later. Anyway, I meant to swap Ash to the front to battle as Pidgeotto, but I forgot. Salesman should be able to handle it, though. So yeah, not a... I mean, there's a way that it works, but overall I'm not a fan of the theory that his Raticate died. And I definitely hate the version where we killed it. That undermines so much of what I think I know about the world of Pokemon. And why the Pokemon battling is an okay activity and not glorified cockfighting. Anyway, he has an Execute. That's pretty cool. With that Gen 1 sprite where one of the eggs is enormous. Using Barrage, which is probably a move you haven't thought about in a while. And it is absolutely spamming that while Salesman is asleep, which is giving Salesman some chances to wake up. So that's good. We take those. Unfortunately, it's not going well so far. Uh-oh. 4 hits. And still no wake up. Okay, we dodged that barrage. Still didn't wake up. That's Gen 1 sleep turns. Finally woke up. Of course, don't get to move the same turn. I could use some flinches after all that bad luck. Let's see. Okay, he just went for Barrage again. Might survive this. If it's 2 or 3 hits. 3. Flinch. No need. Go to crit. He has his own Gyarados already. That's crazy, but I guess I'm glad I saved Ash for this. It knows Dragon Rage. Mine is at a higher level and doesn't know Dragon Rage. What in the world? Is he cheating or is Dragon Rage a TM in this game? It might be. I don't remember. If it is, where do I get it? Oh, that did less than I'd like. Ash, do you really need your plot armor to beat a water and flying type? We're in some trouble if so. I'm going to try to Thunder Wave this Kadabra. That's super valuable even if Ash loses this. Growl was disabled. That's fine. Kadabra has such high special, I don't even know if it's worth going for Thundershock. I'll just quick attack it instead. Its defense is pretty low. If it's just spamming Disable and Teleport, then that's actually an easy win for Ash, which is not something I get to say too often these days. Despite plot armor. And 1 confusion. We survive, we knock it out with 1 more quick attack. And I'll see if I can paralyze his Charmeleon before I have to use somebody else against that. Maybe that level up will make the difference. Ash is faster, and lands the Thunder Wave. Let's go. It's knocked out by an Ember crit. It's fine. Let's see if I can Water Gun through this. Rage. Forgot that. No. I knew that move's in Gen 1 because Ash's Charmander learned it. There we go. Made my Clefairy tiny, just to flex on him. He's still landing his Rage, but it's not doing much. I wonder whether Rage works correctly in Gen 1. Some moves don't. Well, we don't get to see the damage there thanks to a full para. And that's Blue defeated. His team is a bit more impressive than mine, I'm not gonna lie, but that doesn't make it stronger. It looks more impressive, I should say. Clearly mine is strong enough to get through this. Button wasn't working for a bit there, but we're fine. What? You stinker! I took it easy on you too. How's your Pokedex coming, pal? I just caught a Cubone. I can't find the grown-up Marowak yet. I doubt there are any left. That's dark, considering. Well, I better get going. I've got a lot to accomplish, pal. Smell you later. See, there we go. I think him being here to catch a Cubone is more reasonable than him being here to mourn his Raticate. Not saying it's definitely not true, but you can see why I'm not a big fan of the theory. Also, giving us a heads up that Cubone can be caught here. Of course, it's the rarer encounter. You'll mostly see Ghastly. But I'm down to try to catch a Cubone once I'm able to catch anything here. Even we could not identify the wayward ghosts. A sylph scope might be able to unmask them. Of course, I'm not able to catch anything here yet because... if I can get a wild encounter... it's a ghost. Wait, what did that text say? Hang on. Forgot there'd be more text. I have not come in here without a sylph scope in a long, long time. There we go, it's the design inspiration for the ghost-type Terra Jewel. Ghost appeared. Darn, the ghost can't be ID'd. Well, that doesn't mean it can't be battled, does it? Jacinth, you sing! Get out, get out. Jacinth is too scared to move. Yeah, that's how these battles go. Just repeatedly telling me to get out. And I guess I'll heed that, because there's nothing I can do. Couple interesting things there. One, forgot that they talk. Ghosts are so much... ghosts have that extra level to mystery to them in Gen 1 that they don't have in later gens, because there's the implication that they're the actual dead spirits of Pokemon, and they can talk. And you can't even battle them without a special scope. No wonder Ghost is my favorite type. Partly because of how... partly because of that layer of mystery that it has. But also, those ghosts are not necessarily Ghastly or Haunters. Some of them are Cubone, and they still show up as ghosts in that area. All the wild Pokemon do. Even though, of course, Cubone not a ghost type. A little bit of Gen 1 trivia there, but yeah. No wonder Ghost is my favorite type. It's even more eerie and mysterious in Gen 1 than it is in any later gen. They really went the extra mile with that one. Alright, I have a Rattata and a Pidgey that I forgot to nickname. Well, I just wanted to see what else I had in the box, but that's fine. I think I have a Kakuna or something in there as well. I know I plan to name my Rattata Joey. Can't remember whether I had anything in mind for Pidgey, but, I mean, Faulkner is a pretty easy pick. Yeah, different music in the Name Raiders house. Like I'm in Vermilion City right now. Alright, we're getting youngster Joey represented. My first trainer battle in my first game. Top percentage Rattata. And my first gym leader in my first game. I think Faulkner is a just fine name for this Pidgey. Stumbled over my own awkward wording there, but I'm committing to it. And do I have anybody else who needs a nickname? I have a Kakuna. I have more Pokemon than I remembered. But this is the only remaining one that I forgot to nickname. I guess after Faulkner just now, I can name this Bugsy. That fits. Wrong one. Let's try that again. Alright, finally everyone is nicknamed until at some point I forget again. I don't think I need Flash anymore. At least not for a while. You need Flash at Seafoam Islands? I don't remember, but that's not for a while. So I think I'll leave Melly in the PC for now, but I will get Erica back, because I will be needing Cut. I'll get Fly fairly soon, so I might as well grab Ducks. I think Ducks will be the Fly user. And nothing more to do in Lavender Town for now. I can't explore the tower, so we head west through admittedly one of the less interesting routes in the whole series. What's a cute, round, and fluffy Pokemon? It's more experience for the team, at least. Clefairy. That fits the bill, I guess. Is Clefairy fluffy? Well, if she's satisfied, then good for her. Would not mind Salesman learning Dragon Rage, that's for sure. Don't remember whether it happens by level up in this generation. With Gen 1, who knows? On many things. Stop! Don't be so mean to my Clefairy. Oh, she heard me calling that. She heard me questioning whether they're fluffy. My bad, I'm sorry. I heard that Clefairy evolves when it's exposed to a moonstone. I'm a rambling, gambling dude. Folks, the Gambler Trainer class is back, which makes sense because the Game Corner is coming up pretty soon. I think, if I remember right, in Gen 3, maybe it's Gen 4, but I think it's Gen 3, when the Trainer class is changed to Gamer, this guy's dialogue is changed to, I'm a rambling gaming dude, which doesn't have nearly the same kind of flow to it. But this is Gen 1. The world of Pokemon is a lot smaller and rougher around the edges. This guy right here is definitely a rambling, gambling dude. And he's placing the wrong bet, battling me. That one's not going to pay off for him. Nice to see a Vulpix. I feel like Growlithe shows up a little bit more. Used by Gentlemen and somebody else had a Growlithe recently. I don't see quite as many Vulpix. And Vulpix is just so cute, and it's on my PDL team. At least at the time of recording. I'm thinking about trades. At time of recording, I've only made one. Haven't found anything else that I like, but I'm still weighing my options. Anyway, missed the big score. Trade deadline will definitely have passed by the time this goes up, or it'll be very close. I think it will have passed. So you'll know what I did. Gambling and Pokemon are like eating peanuts. Just can't stop. I don't really feel that way about gambling or eating peanuts, but I suppose you have a point about Pokemon. You need strategy to win at this. It's a super nerd. I feel like I haven't seen one of those in a while. The Grimer. Can I catch Grimer in this area? I don't remember. I think maybe. I'm not really interested in catching a Grimer, though. I know in Gen 2 you can catch them in Celadon City because the city's gotten so polluted. But this is 3 years earlier. We're not there yet. And I know in Yellow you can catch them at the power plant. Because it's a reference to Ash catching his muck at a power plant. But this isn't Yellow, of course. Tackle is disabled, that's fine. Better that than Bite. That Muck Sprite is pretty impressive. That's a scary looking Pokemon. Level 24. No poison damage when I knock it out. That's good. Gen 1 has some weird quirks like that. Notably in Gen 1, Hyper Beam doesn't have to recharge. You don't have to recharge after using Hyper Beam if you get the KO. The Gen 1 Smogon play, a lot of physical attackers run Hyper Beam. And there's a bit of a mind game to when you use it. You need to have enough damage already to know you'll get the KO, but you also might need to read that your opponent won't switch, or will switch to something that's KO'd by it. It's fun. I like Gen 1 Hyper Beam. It's not logical. Go with Grimer first, and then That guy's a long way away from being a VGC champion. He's not using strong enough Pokemon and he's too rigid in his strategy. Gotta be flexible. Strategy is the key, but you have to be flexible about it. You need to give yourself multiple options for different matchups, game plans, different outs to play toward. But it's okay, it's Gen 1, he'll learn. He's got 30 years, and who knows how many more, to just keep learning and growing, like the rest of us. These 4 trainers clumped together are not super interesting battles, but it's just kind of neat. I think there's this group of people here. Let's go one by one. I like Nidoran, so I collect them. I wonder what kind of Pokemon I'm about to face. I could swap to my poison immunity. Maybe I'll regret not doing that if I just run back to the Pokemon Center again right after this. It's a Nidoran, it's not even necessarily going to use Poison Sting. Hopefully she has a male one next, because it's not as bulky. Oh, Nidorina. That's bulkier. Cool sprite, though. Why? Why? That's a little dramatic. I didn't see that coming from this random lass. When Pokemon grow up, they get ugly. They shouldn't evolve. You have an evolved Pokemon! And it looks awesome with that Gen 1 sprite. What are you talking about? School is fun, but so are Pokemon. That does sound like something a super nerd would say, am I right? We got Coughing, again with the poison mark on its head. On its forehead, above its eyes. Coughing is kind of all head, isn't it? Physically Bulkymon takes a bite pretty well, but there's nobody I especially want to switch to. Again, I could switch to my poison, the status condition, immunity. But hey, no need so far. Dragon Rage, let's go! Now I can use that on Coughing. I'll stay with school. But how does Blue Gyarados have under-leveled Dragon Rage? Is it a TM? I don't know. We're stuck here because of the gates at Saffron. Meowth is so cute. Meow, meow, meow. That actually is a good explanation for why all these trainers are clumped together, right? The thirsty guards are stopping more people than just me. You know what? Good world building. Showing that whatever on Earth is going on there, it's having a broader effect. And not just roadblocking my journey. Well, we crit through that Growl drop, but I think it's time to start using Dragon Rage next. -1 attack, don't want to be messing with that. I'll get some extra money for this battle, so that's good. Not sure that really made much difference compared to 2 bites. But it's fine, I'm having fun. Dragon Rage sure looks cool, doesn't it? It's arrived a little bit late to be super broken, but it's still doing good damage, and you know, I have something to hit rock types now and whatnot. It will fall off eventually, but that animation sure looks cool in the meantime. Anyway, she said meow 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 and sent out 3 Meowth. Pretty straightforward. Now she says meow again, get 48 extra bucks. We definitely take those. I think Pidgey and Rattata are cute too. No argument here. We must look silly standing here like this. Well, not now that I know why. Good excuse to have a bunch of trainers gathered on this route. 5 Pokemon, wow. And a Pidgey leading. This would have been a good chance to train Ash. Oh well. Really feels like I'm back in the early game now. Except Pokemon like Meowth and Nidorina are keeping things a little fresh. Let's see what else this trainer has. Sure. Nidoran is such an interesting Pokemon, actually, because it's such a it's a classic weak early game encounter, except it evolves into a super powerful form so quickly, especially since you get a Moonstone so early. It is, of course, as I've noted, the speedrun Pokemon of choice in Gen 1, as far as I'm aware. Maybe strats have changed. I don't watch a ton of speedruns. And I know I would sometimes catch a Nidoran and evolve it quickly and just go crazy with that when I played through these games back in the day. Maybe I could have done that in this playthrough, but I'm good with the team I have. And of course, more to come. Look what you did. What, win? Saffron's gatekeeper won't let us through. He's so mean. No, I can't believe he's gatekeeping like that. There's some tall grass here. I don't think there's anything super interesting in it, like I said. There we go. You want to get a wild Pokemon on this route? They've cut the wild Pokemon off from the road. You know we're getting into the more urbanized part of the region now. That's for sure. Now, there's a trainer here that I want to avoid for undisclosed reasons. I think it's that guy. Be careful about that. Nothing really to see over here. Well, except this is the underground path that I have to get to. Is there anything more over here? I already know that this guard won't let me through. I'm on guard duty. Gee, I'm thirsty, though. Too bad all these guards are so thirsty. How are they supposed to work like this? You look good at Pokemon, but how's your chem? Another super nerd. We know we're getting into the urban core because the kids around here are actually in school. I would say, uh-oh, that's a Voltorb. In fact, I was about to, but I don't think Gen 1 Voltorb gets any electric attacks by level up. Genuinely, I think that's a thing. And so far, I'm not proven wrong. We know this is physically bulky, might as well knock it out with a couple of Dragon Rages. One did a lot. I mean, it did exactly 40 damage, but it did a lot as a proportion of Koffing's HP. Yeah, I didn't see any of those Voltorb use an electric attack, did you? Ow! Meltdown! Poor guy. I am better at school than this. Not so poor guy, he's doing fine. The department store in Celadon has a great selection. And it's another underground path. A lot of underground travel in this region. I've taken 3 different ones, 1 natural and 2 man-made, in a single episode. I heard a sleepy Pokemon appeared near Celadon City. Wonder what that could be. And just for good measure, I am on guard duty. Gee, I'm thirsty though. Oh wait, there, the road's closed. Absolutely no one can get in or out of Saffron City, and all the guards are thirsty. What is going on? Who knows? Not my problem, except that I'll have to go through there at some point. But for now, look at that, Celadon City. Speaking of background music that I enjoy, Celadon is pretty good. If I had a bike, I would go to Cycling Road. I have a bike, but you can't have it. Pokeflute awakens Pokemon with a sound that only they can hear. I rode uphill on Cycling Road from Fuchsia. So they're talking about the area, letting me know an area that's coming up, and the first mention of the Pokeflute. So I've known for a while that sleeping Pokemon can be an obstacle. Now my first clue on how to deal with them. And in a moment it'll be time to explore Celadon City. I'm just going to take a quick break first. Break's done. Let's talk to this guy. He seems friendly. Keep out of Team Rocket's way. Uh-oh. Team Rocket, I heard they kill Pokemon. Maybe I should keep out of their way. Pretty bold for that guy to just be openly wandering the streets. I thought there could be an item there because that one tree was sticking out, but no. However, there may be something to be said for going back here. Snuck in the back way of this apartment building. What do I find? Oh, hang on. A guy who knows everything, that's what I find. The sign says, I know everything. Put him to the test. I know everything about the world of Pokemon in your Game Boy. Get together with your friends and trade Pokemon. It's a pamphlet on TMs. There are 50 TMs in all. There are also 5 HMs that can be used repeatedly. Sylph Company. Trainer tips. He's got trainer tips about the link cable on his blackboard. I guess this guy does know everything. And for some reason I'm able to just take a Pokemon from his home. Kind of feels like theft, but the game will let me do it. And this guy who knows everything. We'll see it happen. We'll know it happens, because he knows everything. And I'll have nothing to say about it. And that's the one with Eevee that you get in this game. You just take it from this guy's table. And that's Eevee's party sprite in this game. I think I will probably not evolve this Eevee. If I were evolving it, I'd probably pick Flareon. Just because I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot of fire types that I'm seriously thinking about for this team. Actually, Flareon could be fun to train because this is Gen 1. Its special attack stat, I think, is the same as the other two, because it's just the special stat. So this is the best Flareon is going to be at using fire-type attacks for a while. Maybe I will train a Flareon. That could be fun. You know what? I've already talked myself into it. So I was going to come up with a nickname for Eevee. I could come up with a nickname for Flareon instead, but I know a guy who has both of those Pokemon among his favorites listed on the PC. We're naming it Bill. I actually think I will add Flareon to the team. Oh, okay, there's no more room for Pokemon. I thought the game was going to make me go through all that and then tell me that I can't pick this up right now. But instead, rare instance where Gen 1 actually doing something better than some of the later gens. I don't have to go clear space by party. Bill is just sent to box 1. Nice. And this guy who knows everything has nothing to say about that. Am I right? Does Flareon have a higher special in Gen 1 than its special attack in later gens? Please allow me a moment to look that up. I think it would make sense. They would all have 110 special. And then Vaporeon and Jolteon keep that as special attack after the split. Yeah. So if this thing can learn Flamethrower, hypothetically, that's going to hit harder in this gen than any other. And I think that is good enough reason. So before I explore the rest of the city, let's go over here at least. It's not like I'm going to get into a battle over here. I don't think I can actually go into these buildings through the back. I bet a lot of kids missed that you could go into the apartment building this way. Of course, the fact that there's a gap in the trees is kind of a hint that there's something you can do there, but the bigger thing is if you go in through the front of the building, you can see that there's an area at the back that you can't get to that way. I didn't have any trouble figuring that one out. I'm sure a lot of kids didn't, but I also would guess probably some did. Anyway, let's deposit. And one problem here, less room for HM users. Let's deposit Ducks for now, because I still need Cut. And let's withdraw Bill. Level 25, so pretty decent. Not lagging behind. In fact, it's okay, second weakest on the party, but still ahead of Ash. Currently knows. Tackle and Sand Attack, and I will evolve this one right away with a Firestone purchased at the department store, because I'm pretty sure evolutions are a glaring exception to the Stone of... Actually, let me check Flareon's Gen 1 Learn Set. I'm pretty sure evolutions are a glaring exception to the Stone Evolution Pokemon don't get more level up moves, because they change types, right? It's pretty drastic Stone Evolution for this generation. If I want my Flareon to learn Fire-type attacks at all by level up, I think I do have to promptly evolve it. Yeah, so I've already missed out on Ember. Oh, alright, Gen 1 for you. I've missed out on Ember. And the next thing is Fire Spin at level 44. And then Flamethrower at 54, and the only Fire-type TM it gets is Fire Blast. You know, this is getting a bit less appealing, to be honest. Maybe this is not super worth it. Well, Flareon has a high attack stat too. I want to train a Flareon, I've already convinced myself of that. But, classic Gen 1, no Fire-type attacks for a long time. Actually, in that case, should I delay evolving it? Let me look up Eevee's level up list. And compare that to Flareon. Sorry, I didn't plan this in advance, so I really didn't think I would train the Eevee. And then kind of convinced myself on the spot that I actually wanted to. Okay, so the first fire type attack I'll get is Fire Spin. But Quick Attack is soon. Bite at level 40. Oh, actually I'm wrong. It gets Ember at 31. After also getting it at 1. So I think I will get Ember. Okay, that's fine then, yeah. And it still gets Bite and Quick Attack, which are the notable things for Eevee. So I can go ahead and evolve this right away, just like I said. My bad, Gen 1. Ember at level 31 and then Fire Spin at level 44 is still pretty bad, but it's not as bad as I was saying it was. I was spreading misinformation about you just now. Apologies to Pokemon Red and Blue. This is my trusted pal, Poliwrath. It evolved from Poliwhirl when I used Waterstone. We could all tell that this was a Poliwrath, right? This definitely looks like a Poliwrath. Ribbit ribbit. Just what I'd expect that creature to say. Trainer tips. Where's the city sign? Maybe in the square by the department store. But first, let's go in the front of this building. Celadon Mansion, Manager's Suite. Sounds fancy. My dear Pokemon keep me company. Meowth even brings money home. This, of course, is who gives you the tea in Fire Red and Leaf Green, which is the specific item needed to get past the thirsty guards, but that's not how it works in Gen 1. If you don't know how it works in Gen 1, we'll see. But for now, she's got a sculpture of a Diglett. Can't say I really recognize that as a Diglett from the sprite, but I guess I get what they're going for. Meow. Kya kyow. Did you see that this Nidoran was blocking the exit for a bit? Glad it moved. Pee, 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 pee. Classic Clefairy. I saw you creeping toward. I saw you looking to move to block the exit again. I was too fast for you. Nice try. One of the scariest opponents in the game right there, that Nidoran. Game Freak Meeting Room. Starting the tradition of putting a Game Freak office in the game. Nobody here. Perhaps they're upstairs. Oh, there's a PC. There's a usable PC there. I actually didn't know that. I was just checking if there was anything there. There we go. Game Freak office having a PC. That makes sense, right? Game Freak development room. And here they all are. I wrote the story. Isn't Erica cute? I like Misty a lot too. Oh, and Sabrina. I like her. Well, I don't know two of those people yet, so I'll get back to you. Me? I'm the programmer. I'm the graphic artist. I drew you. Is that right? I'm the game designer. Filling up your Pokedex is tough, but don't quit. When you finish, come tell me. Alright, nice little small indie company there. And then I don't think there's anything to see up here. The guy who knows everything is fenced off. You have to go through the back door to steal his Eevee. Why is that the way you get an Eevee in this game? It's so weird. Like, I wonder if there's something I'm missing that comes across more clearly in Japanese or to a Japanese audience. I don't know. Is this a city sign? Celadon City, the city of rainbow dreams. Can't talk to that person yet because I don't have surf. Hopefully I'll remember to come back. We'll see. The game corner is bad for our city's image. See, people 30 years ago knew about gambling. Little did they know it would be making a comeback now. I got my coughing in Cinnabar. It's nice, but it breathes poison when it's angry. Well, I'm glad you like it. It's a cool Pokemon. Okay, can't go in there, so just the department store next. You know this giant mart is serious because it's enormous and also it has 2 doors. That's a serious mart right there. Hello, welcome to Celadon Department Store. The board on the right describes the store layout. Service counter, trainer's market, TV game shop, Wiseman Gifts, drugstore, and then the rooftop square with vending machines. Okay, so the trainer market I think is the standard mart stuff. Just gonna say the same thing. Oh, it just says what floor I'm on now. Don't know what that is. Interacting with it does nothing. It's like a giant Pokemart, just this one floor. For long outings, you should buy Revive. Super Repel keeps weak Pokemon at bay. It's a more powerful Repel. Wow, tons of Pokemon stuff. Yeah, so we get the gist of what these guys are selling. We can just move on, I think. This one is TV Game Shop. Not sure what they're selling here. Oh, hi, I finally finished Pokemon. Not done yet? This might be useful. Really going meta here between Game Freak saying, I drew you, I made the game that you're in, and now I've finished the video game that you live in. Here's a TM. It contains counter. Oh, I think that's where the counter move tutor is in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but his dialogue in those games is like, I'm leaning on a counter. By the way, speaking of counter, I didn't go so meta with that one. TM18 is counter. Not like the one I'm leaning on, mind you. Okay, they do have that bit in this game as well. But first he's like, I finally finished Pokemon. Now here are a bunch of kids with weird looking jaws. Captured Pokemon are registered with an ID number and OT, the name of the original trainer that caught it. Come on, Graveler. I love Graveler. I collect them. Huh? Graveler turned into a different Pokemon. Alright, my buddy's going to trade me his Kangaskhan for my Graveler. There we go, trade evolution. Confirmed. You can identify Pokemon you got in trades by their ID numbers. A puzzle game. Looks addictive. Uh-oh. Are these all puzzle games? Nope. A fighting game. Looks tough. A sports game. Dad'll like that. An RPG. There's no time for that. That's funny. Who would have time to play an RPG, am I right? But also, I'm not just glossing over this, don't worry. Dad confirmed. Player character has a dad. Who is he? Where is he? I don't know, but he likes sports games, I'll tell you that. Don't know if he's a gamer or just likes sports, but hey, we got a little bit of lore on Red's dad right there. I didn't know. No, I did not know that was coming. Did not know I'd get anything from interacting with those screens. I bet somebody else has found this and spread it on the internet before now. But there we go. Dad confirmed. Hang on. What's this poster? You never know with a poster, right? There could be a secret switch behind it or something. But it just says red and blue. Both are Pokemon. It is pretty funny that there's so much promotion here of the game that I'm playing. Like I said, silly meta gag, but I'm enjoying it. Express yourself with gifts, Wiseman Gifts, Evolution Special, Element Stones on sale now. You know I'm interested in those. Yeah, Celadon City is where the wall between realities cracks a little bit. They should put that on the sign. Where the wall between reality is gently nudged by tall buildings and poisonous water. I'm getting a Pokédoll for my girl space friend. I heard something useful. You can run from wild Pokemon by distracting them with a Pokédoll. Why are you looking around? I'm a customer. I'll take a Firestone. I'll take a Thunderstone. And I should have remembered to check whether I would want to evolve my Pikachu right now, but I didn't. So let's see what Pikachu learns by level up. Beyond level 20, whatever. This I should have thought to do before the episode. Get Swift at level 26. I guess that's not nothing. I guess Thunder at 43. I won't evolve it just yet, but maybe I should. Did I already buy the stone? I don't remember. I'm sorry, I forgot whether I bought the stone or not. Let me check my bag. I did, okay. I'll use the Firestone right now and build up. Like I said, Flareon the clear choice here for two reasons. One, I just don't really have any other fire types I'm thinking about for my team. And two, unique generation for Flareon. Can hit harder with those flamethrowers if ever I get them than it can in other gens. I like Vaporeon a lot. Jolteon's okay, definitely my least favorite of the three. But Flareon is the choice here. What floor is this? Drugstore, so this will be vitamins and X items. Pokemon ability enhancers can be bought only here. Use calcium to increase the special abilities. Use Carbos to increase speed. They really didn't have all the terminology down in Gen 1, huh? They're saying abilities instead of stats. I'm here for Pokemon ability enhancers. Protein increases attack power, Iron increases defense. Okay, that'll be all of them. Maybe HP up is in this gen, it probably is. But no Zinc, of course, because no special defense stat. And then there was, yeah, so we got abilities used to refer to stats, and then of course there was the element types thing earlier. I meant to call it out then. I think I've said before, the official Pokemon handbook that I had, that first one with only 150 Pokemon in it, it actually referred to a Pokemon's type as its element, like used the term element for what we would call type now. And it used the word type to refer to the Pokemon's category. So, Pikachu, element electric, type mouse. Charmander, element fire, type lizard. You get the idea. And so that terminology stuck in my head, you know, in the very early formative part of my personal Pokemon journey, and it took me some time, genuinely, to get used to calling electric a type, or fire a type, because that book kind of messed me up. But anyway, now I'm on the rooftop. My sister is a trainer, believe it or not, but she's so immature, she drives me nuts. I'm thirsty, I want something to drink. Nice little rooftop area, kind of just avoid beyond this fencing. But I like it, it's pleasant, and I do need to use these vending machines, because number one, these are what you give to the thirsty guards. There's no tea in this game, you just give them whatever drink you've got. I'll buy a fresh water for one of those. But also, very important, I'm gonna buy another fresh water. I'll buy a soda pop. I'll buy a lemonade. There's no more room for stuff. That's a funny message. I'll throw out the last Pokeball that I'm still carrying. I have 20 Great Balls. Now I have room for stuff. Buy a lemonade, because it's not just the thirsty guards that I want to give drinks to. Here's an NPC I didn't know about when I was a kid. This girl right here. I'm thirsty, I want something to drink. I'll give her fresh water first, and she'll give me... Oh, right. There's no room for stuff. I hope I don't have to give her another fresh water. Okay, let's go to the PC. My bad. I forgot. I bought 2 fresh waters, so... giving away one doesn't clear a bag slot. I ran out of room for stuff. Well, I don't even have to go all the way to the Pokemon Center because there's a PC right over here. Kind of feels like I'm tapping into another dimension when I use it, but so be it. What can I deposit? I'm never using this old rod again. I'm never using this again, realistically. HP up. I could deposit the bicycle, but for now I won't. No, actually I want to go to Cycling Road at some point. TM30. TM18. Whatever that one was, I think counter, judging by where it is in my bag. Alright, now I have room for stuff. The finite bag space is definitely kind of annoying in this game, but hey, that's how it is until Gen 4, I think. Take a little shortcut here. At least from Gen 2 on, there are separate bag pockets instead of everything being in one pocket and taking up its space. Okay. I still have to go up one more staircase to get to the roof. Alright. You remember that fresh water I gave you? She doesn't. It's fine, I'll buy another one. Now, so you can have this for me. TM13, I think that's Ice Beam. It's Ice Beam. TM13 contains Ice Beam. That's the only Ice Beam TM in this game. I absolutely did not know when I was playing as a kid that you get such a valuable TM from this person. It can freeze the target sometimes. Sounds like a pretty good move. Now, she's still thirsty after the fresh water, so I guess I'll give her a soda pop. And she'll give me TM48, which contains Rock Slide. There it is. It can spook the target sometimes. I guess that means it does have a flinch chance in Gen 1. But what even learns it? And she's still thirsty. I'm not done yet. I'll give her a lemonade as well, and she'll give me TM49, which contains Tri-Attack. No description, just it contains Tri-Attack. And she still wants to drink. I don't think she gives me the TMs again. Honestly, I'll check. I'll buy another fresh water. I'm gonna need one anyway. I'm gonna need a drink anyway for a guard. Can she give me another Ice Beam TM? Pfft, no, she's not actually thirsty. She's just bluffing now. Alright, well, I'll give that to a guard. There we go. Rock Slide, Ice Beam, and Tri-Attack. 3 pretty strong TMs, and that's where you get all of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with my Ice Beam TM. I could teach it to my Gyarados, but it's too valuable a TM to just use recklessly right now. I do want to see, though. I'm guessing Clefairy and Gyarados can learn Ice Beam out of my current team, and I'm right. I'm guessing nobody can learn Rock Slide. And I'm right. Of course, Gyarados can in later gens, but not... In Gen 1, not much learns Rock Slide, I think. And Tri-Attack, I have no idea. Clefairy can learn it. That's actually pretty good if I keep Jacintha on my team long term, but I don't know if I will. I'm not going to use the TM right now. But Tri-Attack is a pretty strong normal type attack for Gen 1. I don't think it has its status chances. Maybe it does. I should stop saying stuff like that. I don't know. I don't remember a lot of these. Moan! I blew it all at the slots. I knew I should have cashed in my coins for prizes. Sounds like there's some gambling going on in this city. Probably a bad luck. That's trainer tips. Okay. That's a long trainer tips. And sure enough, oh, Rocket Game Corner, the playground for grown-ups. Well, coins exchange for prizes, prize exchange. Well, I don't know if the Game Corner is of any interest to me. Let's go down here. What are you staring at? Funny that the Notorious Criminals Team Rocket are all over the city, and also the Game Corner is called Rocket Game Corner. What a silly coincidence that must be. Surely they're not just openly operating a major business under the name of their criminal organization, right? Hi! We're taking a break now. Munch. The man at that table lost it all at the slots. My Pokemon are weak, so I often have to go to the drugstore. Look at how, again, dark and rough around the edges Gen 1 is compared to like any other generation. We've had a bunch of talk about death and the evil team just straight up killing Pokemon in this episode, and now we've got multiple people complaining that they lost everything gambling. This is not the Pokemon world that I'm used to 30 years later. Psst, there's a basement under the Game Corner. Why do you know that? Why are you telling me that, and why do you know it? You have something to do with the Game Corner and the organization that runs it? Go ahead, laugh. I'm flat out busted. No more slots for me. I'm going straight. Here. I won't be needing this anymore. I feel like as a kid I probably took that guy's dialogue as being kind of silly, but now it's sad. I always thought I was going to win it back. That's actually super sad, and I just had no understanding as a kid of how sad that is. I think I said before, as a kid I didn't really, like, I understand why they don't have game corners in the modern games. When I was growing up and they first removed them, I was disappointed by that because I thought they were kind of fun. Voltorb Flip in Heart Gold Soul Silver was not fun, so it was an unfortunate substitute. I did not feel encouraged to gamble by game corners, personally. In fact, I didn't have the patience for it, so I would just get a bunch of money and buy the coins for the prizes I wanted. But I mean, that's me, right? In general, even as an adult, like, I've not found myself to be very susceptible to gambling. I kind of find it boring if the stakes are low and too risky for my taste if the stakes are high, which is lucky these days when gambling is everywhere. I really lucked out with that part of my personality. So I didn't feel encouraged to gamble by game corners. It was just like a thing that existed in this world to me, and I didn't really have any particular thoughts about it except that I could get some nice Pokemon and TMs there. But I do understand, of course, especially with the rise of gambling today, why there are not game corners in the games anymore. I'm honestly a tiny bit surprised they lasted as long as they did. But I kind of feel like there was less stigma around. I mean, I know Japan is different here anyway, right? And the game corners being in the games in the first place is very Japanese. I don't know a lot about the culture behind it, but I know it is different from where I'm from. But I feel like even here, there kind of was less stigma around gambling when there was less of it in your face all the time. And, you know, one tended to come across fewer stories of people in real life getting ruined by it, and so we could just laugh at that guy's dialogue in there. I don't know, this isn't the time to think more about this, I think, but this is not the Pokemon world we have 30 years later, like I keep saying. Don't touch the poster at the game corner. There's no secret switch behind it. Well, that's pretty on the nose. Chief! We just shipped 2,000 Pokemon as slot prizes. Heh, the slots just reel in the dough big time. Considering that Rocket Grunt is... First of all, I'm blocked in here. This guy's even more evil than that Nidoran. Considering a Rocket Grunt is talking about shipping Pokemon for slot prizes, I'm a little bit worried if I get a rare Pokemon from the game corner about where that Pokemon has come from. There's something I did as a kid without thinking about that. Of course, I played Gen 2 first, and the Gen 2 game corner gives Pokemon as prizes, and some of them are really good, while not being openly tied to Team Rocket. At least the Goldenrod one. But man, a lot of... Celadon City... It's so grimy in this city. Like, I'm pretty sure I stole an Eevee. And if I get a prize Pokemon from the game corner, I'm going to be getting probably a stolen Pokemon. Maybe not, right? Maybe they just, like, poached it from the wild. Which isn't great either, depending on what their methods were, but... Potentially, I'm getting a stolen Pokemon, and the game doesn't care. I get to just have it. This is the first version of the world of Pokemon. It's wild. It's so different. It's so much fun to look back to it. Play through this again. Is that another Diglett statue? I'm not going to try to go back there, because that guy's blocking the way, and he might block me in if I go there again. Don't touch the post, and then there's this guy, who's just... There's no secret switch behind the poster in the game corner shirt is getting a lot of questions already answered by his shirt. That one's pretty on the nose. I forgot. I talk about these games not holding your hand like the newer ones. I forgot how many blatant hints there are that you just might not notice because you actually have to talk to people. The game doesn't put them right in front of your face with a bunch of cutscenes like modern games do, but that is so on the nose. And then this place looks like a Pokemon Center. What is going on here? It's not a Pokemon Center, but it's kind of laid out like one. Pokemon? No, this is a hotel for people. We're full up. Oh, it's a hotel. Where are the rooms? There's nowhere to go beyond this one room. I don't even know how that guy got behind the counter. But I guess I can't stay here anyway, and that's fine. I'm on vacation with my brother and boy space friend. Celadon is such a pretty city. I remember this hotel. I found this in Leaf Green. Why did she bring her brother? My sis brought me on this vacation. Having fun, excited. Oh man, I want a romantic getaway. I remember these NPCs in Leaf Green. I definitely found them then. I think the hotel looks a little bit more interesting in that game. Anyway, not much more to see. Down here is the gym. But it's not gym time just yet. More to do before that. I got the coin case, right? But I'm not going to go to the game corner just yet either. Instead, I just feel like riding the bike for a little more speed while I'm in this wide open area. Instead, got some business over this way. Not past this Snorlax, still can't go there. Enjoy the slope, cycling road. Maybe later. But I can cut this tree here. Some tall grass. You can go to this side of the gatehouse. How do you get in? Good effort. Once again, I'm trespassing probably, but people are just kind of unfazed by that. You can't be here. Ah, whatever. Have you heard about Amber? A bunch of bikers that I can't battle right now because they're on the other side of the fence. And in this house, we got a bird. A Fiero. This is Queen. And we got whoever this is. I feel like my favorite theory I've heard on this one is that she's a celebrity trying to lay low from the publicity that she gets in the big city or something. But in any case, oh, you found my secret retreat. Please don't tell anyone I'm here. I'll make it up to you with this. She gave me an HM just for not telling anyone she's here. Maybe she's a fugitive from the law, but I like the celebrity theory. HM2 is fly. It will take you back to any town. Put it to good use. And I certainly will, because I've got a plan for this HM. I'll tell you that. I've got something I want to do with this HM right now. Let's start by teaching it to ducks. I don't have ducks in my party. I have something to do with this HM in just a moment. This HM is the final piece of a puzzle that I've been slowly putting together. First I have to get a bird from the PC. Deposit Erica for now. And withdraw ducks. Surely Farfetch'd can learn fly, right? I feel like a bird is a pretty safe bet, even in Gen 1. Yeah. But ducks needs to forget a move first. I might as well drop Peck. Alright. Now. Next thing to do. I might as well give myself access to Saffron City right now and free a slot in my bag of this fresh water. Whoa, boy, I'm parched. ... Huh? I can have this drink? Gee, thanks. ... Glug glug. ... Gulp. ... If you want to go to Saffron City ... You can go on through. I'll share this with the other guards. So all of them were so thirsty. Well, one bottle of water will take care of all four. Hi, thanks for the cool drinks. And now, in a move that could be called corruption, even though no one can go in or out of the city for some reason, I give them one bottle of water and I'm good in any direction. I'm gonna go through just so I can fly back here. There we go. But it's not time for Saffron City yet. That's a future episode. What it is time for is a quick trip back through this underground path. Alright, and now I'm going to do something that I think I remember how to do, but I did not double check before I started recording. I'm so confident in my memory, but not so confident that I won't make a safety save right here. Here we go. Step into that guy's line of sight, open the menu, fly away to Cerulean City. He tried to initiate a battle, but I was too quick. I got out of there. I broke the fundamental rule of reality that when trainers' eyes meet, they must battle. And now reality will unravel by my hand. Go up here. Everything looks pretty normal so far. Oh hey, it's that kid I didn't battle earlier. Dad took me to a great party on SS Anne at Vermilion City. That's nice, I missed the party. Anyway, let's battle now. Because I feel like it. I use my new Flareon in this battle. Okay, that was easy. I'm not mad. That's what someone who's mad would say. Alright, nice little trip up to Cerulean Cape. But I think my business here is done. Let's fly to Lavender Town now. And my menu opened itself. Reality coming apart as my menu opens itself. Who knows what will happen when I close it? Probably a lot of people know, because this is a well-known glitch. Yeah, time to catch Mew. That's why I had to avoid those two trainers. But again, this is not some obscure secret. As soon as I said I was avoiding that youngster for undisclosed reasons, it was probably clear what I was doing. There we go. There are, I think, multiple glitches to get Mew, but this is the specific one that I know. No trucks involved, by the way. Still have to catch it. Secret 151st Pokemon, not even in that handbook I had as a kid. I think there was another one they released afterward that added Mew. And then when Gen 2 came out, that was the third official handbook. I have a lot of Great Balls, but maybe I should have bought more. I think I'm going to stop spamming them like this. If these next 5 don't catch it, let its HP get a bit lower. Still a ways away from getting any legendaries in this game, but if I do manage to catch this, and I'm not above save scumming here, I get my first mythical. Well, the only one in this game. Not even super far in. Yeah, if I go down to 10 Great Balls, which will happen right now if this doesn't catch it, then I'll switch around a bit. Never mind, we're good. Mew is caught. The new species Pokemon, of course. 1'4", 9 pounds. So rare that it is still said to be a mirage by many experts. Only a few people have seen it worldwide. And now I'm one of them. And I thought about naming it Go, but I didn't watch Journeys. And considering where we're at in this game, especially where I caught it, and the clear connection to this character, we're gonna name this Fuji. There we go. Reality should be fine now. Kinda hard to believe that I caught a mythical Pokemon just like that. Let's check the Pokedex to see if it's real. We got Bulbasaur number 1 at the top of the Pokedex list. I own 22 Pokemon, up from 15 at the early end of this episode. I've added Diglett, Gyarados, Venusaur, Eevee, Flareon. Here's Mew. Oh, and Voltorb. Wonder what all those other ones just above it are. Maybe we'll find out. Wonder where Mew is found in the Kanto region. Oh, what do you know? Nowhere. It doesn't make its nest anywhere. And yet... Level 7. I think it only knows Pound. Of course, I could give it any TM or HM that I want. But I'm in no rush. I will move it up to the front of the party for switch training. This is the 6th member of the team. From now on, any new team member has to replace someone else. It sure is an unusual encounter, huh? A rare and special one, I'll say. And since I have new team members, I said before, there are a few things I can do with some flexibility on the order at this point in the game. I've decided to do Game Corner before the gym, so I can get some experience on Fuji and also Bill. Though Bill was not part of the plan going into this episode. Let's check out the prizes first. Now that I have a coin case, they'll actually talk to me. I sure do fancy that Porygon, but it's hard to win at the slots. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a Porygon, but I'm not going to gamble for one in this playthrough. I'm not making time for that. I had a major haul today. So we see both sides of gambling. This guy had a major haul. That guy at the restaurant went broke. Don't forget about him. Okay, I don't know what these are. I'm probably not going to find out unless I swap coins for them. Or look them up. Dratini, Scyther, Porygon. I can get a Dratini somewhere else. I don't remember whether I can get a Scyther somewhere else in this version, but I'm not too bothered about it. I would like a Porygon, but I don't think I'll be getting 999 coins in this game. And over here, we got Abra, Clefairy, Nidorina. I have Abra already. I have Clefairy already. I'm not that bothered about a Nidorina. I think I will pass on the prizes this time, although Porygon is interesting. And here's the game corner in all its glory, I suppose. With its own background music and everything. Hey, what? You're throwing me off. Here are some coins. Shoo. What's up? Want some coins? I'll get free coins from a few of these NPCs. I think there are also some to be found as a hidden item on the ground, but I'm not going to look for that. Games are scary. It's so easy to get hooked. Yep. Hey! You have better things to do, champ in the making. Celadon's gym leader is Erica. She is his grass-type Pokemon. She might appear docile, but don't be fooled. I forgot this guy's here. It makes sense, I guess, right? Because the gym is all women. He can't be in there. As an NPC out front is going to remind us when we go down that way. He's passing his time by gambling. Hopefully it doesn't take a scary turn for him. I'm having a wonderful time. Alright, I mean, some people have fun with it, right? It's just some people really don't. And those people are probably more profitable, at least for a while. Kid, do you want to play? I like 50 coins just from talking to people. Keep this quiet. It's rumored that this place is run by Team Rocket. You think the Rocket Game Corner, which has Rocket grunts wandering around inside and out? You think the Rocket Game Corner, which has that guy lurking in the back, might be run by Team Rocket? Well, that's the level of subtlety we expect from a criminal organization that wear uniforms, isn't it? I think these machines have different odds. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I think it probably, but I never looked into it much. Welcome, you can exchange your coins for fabulous prizes next door. That's a Japanese legal thing, right? Like, to make it legal, they have to have the prizes in a different building from the games. There's something about real pachinko places having to do that to comply with something about Japanese gambling law. I've heard of... I don't remember the details, but I've heard that. Someone fill me in the comments. This is where I can buy coins. I'm not gonna. I can't afford a Porygon. And I guess there's no one left to talk to. Just an empty hallway here. I guess there's no one left to talk to except this obvious Team Rocket grunt. Let's see what he has to say. I hear these guys kill Pokemon, but my Pokemon are pretty strong, so we should be fine. I'm guarding this poster. Go away or else. Why are you guarding that poster? I've been told explicitly that there isn't a switch hidden behind it. So this seems like a strange thing to do. Eradicate. Remember when those were scary? New Gen 1 back sprite with the lumpy head, even though they'd fixed the front sprite by this point. Anyway, good old Switch training once again. Because a level 7 mythical Pokemon is still at level 7. Oh, I should have deposited the TMs in the PC, because there are a lot of items on the ground in the Rocket Hideout, and I'm just going to have to go back. Oh well, it's fine. Fuji gained 2 levels just off of that. That wasn't even a crit. I assumed it was when it one-shot, but nope, Salesman's strong now. Dang! Our hideout might be discovered. I better tell boss. Yeah, that's that Team Rocket subtlety right there. He ran off down the empty hallway, though. Quite the disappearing act. I wonder how he did that. Hey! A switch behind the poster. Let's push it. What in the world? I was told that there wasn't one. Does this close the doorway again? No. It stays open. Can't believe that shady sailor in a Team Rocket house lied to me. Anyway, this is quite the dungeon. This place has a weird layout. But of course I'm familiar with it now. I did get kind of lost in here as a kid. Who are you? How did you get here? Not just a bunch of items on the ground here, but like a couple of key items that I'll need. So yeah, I really should have gone to a PC, but it's fine. I'll do it when I have to. Uh-oh. Bit of a downside to Switch training there. Okay. Big bite damage, please. Wow, it defaulted to Splash because I hadn't actually gotten a chance to select Bite yet. Good thing I didn't just button mash that. Fuji grew to level 10. That's probably already a new move. Yep, Transform. That's fun. We'll see if I can find some uses for that. Alright, 1 grunt down. I don't know how many to go. Ow! Beaten. I guess 2 grunts down. The first guy wasn't down here, though. Are you dissing Team Rocket? Oh, I wouldn't dare. You broke into our operation? These guys are a little bit more bothered about trespassing than the museum people. You're not supposed to be here, and then they actually fight me. I kind of meant to also be training Bill. Well, I'll get chances to do that. Fuji's leveling up quickly, which is good. Might be able to fight some of his own battles soon. Though I think Mew learns level up moves in this generation on the 10s. That's why I was pretty sure we'd get a move at level 10. I think the next one won't be until 20. And it probably won't be very good. And we'll go from there. But Pound will... Yeah, Pound off a base 100 attack will hit things hard soonish. Especially if they're weak things like Zubat. Burnt! You're not going to get away with this, brat. He beat a criminal in battle and he just says, burnt! Oh, telling me how he feels, I guess. Alright. That's it for that level for now. We go down here. Boss said you can see ghosts with the Sylph Scope. Oh, do you guys have one? Because I need one of those things. Would be helpful if you would give it to me. course, Mew is weak to bug, so maybe Zubat is a little bit of an ambitious target right now. Let's try giving some experience to Bill here. Bill's not weak to bug. Quite the opposite, actually. Coughing, that's annoying. I guess I'll switch to my poison. Oh, I meant to switch to... I forgot how many Pokemon I have on the team. I avoided the last slot when I actually did mean to switch to the one that's there. Well, this is some good training for Ash, who really needs it these days. What am I waiting for before I evolve Ash? Swift, maybe Thunder? That sounds about right. Thunder is quite a ways off, though, of course. So we'll see about that. Nice para. You know, I keep saying I don't know what can learn Rock Slide in this generation, but you know what can learn Rock Slide? Mew. Might be worth considering later. Not gonna worry about it right now. But it is an option, and I don't know what else I'm doing with that TM ever. It is still snowing, and I've been at this for a while. And Ash has almost swept this grunt. Not even really needing plot armor to do it. I think the Eradicate will get the better of Ash, though. That's fine. I'm gonna see if Fuji can handle this. I suspect probably not, but I'm gonna go to the Pokemon Center anyway. I think it's worth a try. That's not doing a lot of damage. Of course, if he just spams Tail Whip forever, that's fine. But if he goes for a Hyper Fang right now, that's probably not fine. That was a crit? Into -2? Mew is broken. I mean, it's Gen 1, of course Mew is broken. Psychic types are broken in general, and Mew is one of the strongest ones. Alright, Fuji couldn't handle that. Doesn't change my view, though. Mew is broken. I surrender. Burnt. The Team Rocket HQ has 4 basement floors. Can you reach the boss? Yeah, but I'm gonna go heal and deposit some TMs first. But don't worry, I'm pretty sure I will reach the boss. And he's not gonna have a fun time with my Venusaur. Look at that. 6 Pokemon on the machine, and all of them are actually active team members. I do think there will be more team changes. I don't think this is going to be the final 6. But it's a pretty nice team already. I got Fire, Water, Grass, Electric, a mythical Pokemon. Wouldn't be the worst thing if this were the final 6. But there are definitely going to be some more Pokemon I want to train. Anyway, I think the next thing to do is just go down here. I forgot to use the PC. I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it now instead of getting annoyed when I need to. Gen 1, folks. The bag is kind of annoying, I won't deny that. Also in Gens 2 and 3, because it also has limited space in those, but it is somewhat less limited. Okay. Is it just 3 TMs that I'm depositing? I mean, that will make a difference. I can deposit the coin case, too. Oh, and HM too. There we go. 5 slots cleared. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting a Porygon in this playthrough. Maybe in the post-game, but probably not. Because I could farm money against the League, but that doesn't seem very interesting at my current age. Alright, now I'm ready to battle some more grunts. And explore some weird floor tile puzzles. But first, down here. Like I said, weird base layout overall. But if it works for them, it works for them. Who am I to criticize? We got word from upstairs that you were coming. Well, considering I've left and come back twice since I first infiltrated, I hope you got word. Nice flinch. Yeah, Fuji's still leveling up quickly for now, which is good. What? I lost? No! Go ahead and go. But you need the lift key to run the elevator. That's a new one to me. Go ahead and go. I suppose I will. Go ahead, and I will also go. TM10. Double edge. Not bad. No funny TM to just run into down here. Apologies if this makes anyone sick. Welcome to Gen 1. For candy. Was kind of a fun puzzle when I was a kid. Pretty simple now, of course. But, you know, not bad for Gen 1. The technical limitations they were working with. Stop meddling in Team Rocket's affairs. Imagine laying out your organization's headquarters like this, though. What a nightmare. I mean, I work for a legitimate organization, not criminals. So that's a pretty big difference already. But imagine if I went to work and it was like this. I don't know how long I would last. I had to navigate a maze of tiles that forcibly moved me in a direction to get anywhere. Hyperfang's still pretty strong at this point in the game, huh? Come on, Billy, you got this. You might not got this, but we'll try. Okay. Well, we tried. Maybe I should have gotten Fuji back in for some more Switch training, but I thought of that a second too late. Too bad Gyarados doesn't have Intimidate in this game, because abilities don't exist at all. Unless you want to refer to stats as abilities, like that one NPC did. Would have made that Raticate more manageable, but didn't really need the help anyway. Gyarados is broken, Mew is broken, Venusaur is broken. I've got a pretty broken team if you ignored the other half of it. Oof, taken down. Self-Scope, the machine the boss stole? Oh, that wasn't a question. Self-Scope, the machine the boss stole. It's here somewhere. That wasn't a question, so I guess he's like, a self-scope? Oh yeah, our boss stole one of those. He's just confirming. He's letting me know. I could go heal Bill, but I don't wanna. Get an HP up. And my bag might fill up before I'm done here anyway, so I can go to the Pokemon Center then. The elevator doesn't work. Who has the lift key? One of the classic Team Rocket grunts. Because if you haven't played this game, you'll never guess who has the lift key. His "Who has the lift key" shirt is raising a lot of questions raising a lot of questions not answered by his shirt. Definitely one of the all-time Rocket grunts, this guy. But anyway, hope it doesn't take too long to beat him in a battle. It's nice that he's missing his Smog, so that's some good Ash plot armor right there. But I'd like my Thunder Shocks to be doing more. There we go. Nice crit. Nice level up. Nice other level up. Nice electric weakness. No! Oh no, I dropped the lift key. Yeah, that was who had it. Did you guess correctly? TM2. That is... Razor Wind. Now, I thought this was a Gen 3 move, because I never saw it in my life until Wild Absol were using it on me in Gen 3. But no, Gen 1. I could teach it to my Mew. I have no idea what else can learn it. 2-turn, normal type attack. With I think underwhelming power for being a 2-turn attack, but I don't really remember. It's a pretty obscure move even now. Okay. This way to progress. I guess the other way I could still progress, but it would be less direct. But I could go down to that bottom tile, right? And a whole bunch more items over here. I found Double Edge and Razor Wind TMs in here. I wonder whether there are more TMs. That's a nugget. I shouldn't be depositing nuggets, I should just be selling them. Well, there's a Moonstone. Absolutely rolling in those things. TM7. Well, let's see what that one is. Horn Drill. That's super funny. That might be worth teaching to my Mew. I don't know. I feel like I'll get better moves from my Mew. But there we go. Horn Drill TM. Actually, I think that one... Is that one used in speedruns? Does speedrun Nidoking have some kind of like guaranteed Horn Drill strat? Or not non-guaranteed but still worth it Horn Drill strat? That's vaguely ringing a bell. I haven't watched the Gen 1 I haven't watched any speedrun in a long time, and I don't watch very many. That TM might actually be relevant, I don't remember. But anyway, there it is. A Horn Drill TM. Gen 1 is something else. Okay, so to get this item, I have to go here. And then backtrack. I lose progress doing this. It's a super potion. Not super worth it, but... I actually have to backtrack a lot for getting that item. I feel like I was punished for my curiosity there. I don't know that a super potion was worth all this. But okay, now I can make progress again. This mess of arrow tiles was pretty overwhelming as a kid. Of course, now I can just track where they're all going. But it is kind of a fun puzzle for the very first Pokemon games. I'm making fun of it because it is ridiculous. But for what they were able to do in Gen 1, I think this is pretty solid. There's the lift. I can use that now. Because I have the key. Why did you come here? I'm gonna try this. The Hyper Fang is always so strong, though. Yeah, that's pretty strong. I'll switch. If it doesn't keep going for Hyper Fang, I'm probably fine, but I don't know. I've changed my mind about taking my chances there. The really awkward thing about switch training, or not switch training will be fine. The really awkward thing about training Fuji will be when I go to Pokemon Tower, and all the trainers in there use ghost types. At least most of the way through. And Fuji will probably not have a way to hit them. We'll get Fuji there, of course, but probably not by the time I go up the tower. Well, like I said, switch training. Actually, normal type attacks are so important in Gen 1. Another way that the ghost type is kind of extra special. A lot of Pokemon rely on normal type attacks a fair bit. My whole team is actually pretty bad into ghost. Bill can't touch them either right now. This won't do, says this guy. Salesman can touch them, but only with Dragon Rage. Red just has a bad matchup as grass type. Jacynth has Water Gun, which is pretty weak. And ghosts have high special. And then Red is just not a very strong Pokemon. So honestly, I'll probably be relying on Dragon Rage a fair bit in the tower, and maybe I won't want to switch train there. Maybe I'll just want to lead Salesman and power through. Especially with Ghosts having so many disruptive moves like Confuse Ray and Hypnosis, it might be best to not try to switch train there, but we'll see when we get there. Okay, I'll talk. Take the elevator to see my boss. Yeah, I'd figured that one out already, thanks. No more room for items. Alright, let's battle this guy and then go to the Pokemon Center. Intruder alert! Actually, I think there'll be another guy to battle once I take the lift back up to the top basement floor. Behind that barrier that I couldn't open earlier. It'd be funny to transform into this Grimer and be immune to poisoning, but I don't think it'd be worth it. Gotta find some uses for transform though, right? One hopes. I will. It's a tricky move to make good use of in a playthrough, but maybe I'll figure something out. Obviously won't one-shot because it does fixed damage. It's pretty close to one-shot, though. Coughing must have low HP. But better than biting a physically bulky thing. And the animation's pretty cool. Oh, they landed a Smog. Didn't poison, though. Not that it would matter a ton if it did, because I'm going to the Pokemon Center. But I do think I have one more Grunt to battle on my way out. I can't do it! Sylph-Scope? I don't know where it is. Oh, I have a guess. And yeah, after that I think there's really not much to do but go down to where the boss is. Basement 4 floor. Yeah, but for now, back up here. Battle that guy. Then I think that shutter will just open once I've beaten him. Are you lost, you little rat? And then I'll have a more direct way back to the elevator as well. I don't have to mess with arrow puzzles anymore. At least not in this place. More arrow puzzles elsewhere. There's still so many poison types in this game, especially when I'm fighting Team Rocket, but it is nice that my team has gotten stronger and I'm not really afraid of them anymore. They're also just not poisoning me that much now that they're not spamming Poison Sting, but yeah. It is a real equalizer for my team that I just have strong enough Pokemon that I don't feel like I have to switch to my own poison type whenever I see one. These Rocket Grunts are also just having bad poison luck. Conviction's not strong enough, I guess. Why? Well, I think I just answered that. And yeah, Shutter's gone. Uh-oh, that fight opened the door. What, did our Pokemon bump a switch or something? It's fine, it's just a shortcut. You already know that I can get to the elevator, because that's how I got to you. Alright, this should be the last time having to heal before the mysterious boss of Team Rocket, whoever that might be. And whatever kind of high-tech scopes they might have in their possession. I didn't forget this time. What a relief. Oh, I'm also gonna withdraw my other nugget, because I should just sell these. I don't think I'm gonna do it here, because I have to go into the department store and it's kind of a hassle. But like when I go back to Lavender Town or something, I should just sell my nuggets. Deposit that. 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 I still need the lift key. Probably deposit it in the routine PC visit at the start of next episode. But it is absolutely necessary for progress right now. That'll do, that frees some slots. And back in one more time, should be the last. Unless I really want that post-game Porygon, but I won't have to go down here for that anyway. All the way down to the 4th basement level. Guards posted outside the door. Probably with the boss inside. Let's first grab an iron. Let's have another door opening fight. I know you. You ruined our plans at Mount Moon. They're starting to recognize me. Maybe I really am blacklisted now. Not that it's doing them much good. I think one of these guys has Sandshrew, Ekans, Sandslash, and the other has Ekans, Sandshrew, Arbok. That's kind of fun. Did a lot. Maybe I should save my water guns for Giovanni, although I have Razor Leaves for that, of course. It'll be fine. Also, Giovanni's not that heavily indexed into ground types in his early battles. It's not like he's here to be a ground type gym leader or something. Like I said, I don't need my poison type for this. A bite or two should take care of it. Nice crit. And yeah, this guy's a Sandslash. I think it's my first time seeing one of those in this playthrough. Pretty cool sprite. Looks a little more dangerous than a newer gen Sandslash. They really did well at representing how pointy it is. And then I think the Arbok that the other guy has will be the first of those that I see in this playthrough. Burned again. You guys love that metaphor. The other guy just said burnt. And now this guy burned again. Do you have something against Team Rocket? Yeah, you guys blacklisted me and I'm mad about it. How can you not see the beauty of our evil? Team Rocket are something else. I mean, I don't feel like I need to look too critically at them. They're the villains of the very first Pokemon games, and they do absolutely fine in that role. As a criminal organization that does bad stuff for money and power. It's perfectly solid for Gen 1. They don't really have to be more interesting than that. But they're kind of over the top in some really fun ways with the uniforms and the beauty of our evil talk and whatnot. I enjoy it. I feel like Team Rocket would be really underwhelming if they appeared in, if they debuted in Generation 10 or something. But their very first evil team, they're pretty solid. I like them. Anyway. Will Salesman defeat the Arbok that this guy has in the back? Could be close. That's a powerful looking snake. But I have my own powerful snake right here. My bite's faster. I don't get the flinch, but I do get the KO on the second one. Ayaya! That fight opened the door. Boss, I'm sorry I failed you. I thought that guy might have different dialogue, but no. He looks away in shame. Here's the boss. Kind of an odd sprite. His mouth looks wide. If that is supposed to be his mouth. So, I must say, I am impressed you got here. That's all he has to say to me before we fight. This guy means business. Direct and to the point. Giovanni wants to fight. And he's going to start off with an Onix. What once was a scary boss Pokemon, that is kind of a nice touch for his team actually. What once was a scary boss Pokemon is now the lead for a real scary boss. But like Pokemon will do for the next 30 years, it still misses rock-type attacks. And like every Onix ever, it just drops a water gun. Unfortunately, Onix is just not that scary anymore. Rhyhorn's a little bit more serious, though you wouldn't know it from that outcome. I don't think his last Pokemon is a ground type. I guess he is still pretty heavy on ground types at this point. But yeah, it is kind of neat that Brock's lead, which was such an imposing boss Pokemon at one point, Brock's ace, which was such an imposing boss Pokemon at one point, is now just this guy's lead. Of course, I'm way beyond being scared of an Onix, but now Kangaskhan is a bit more serious. Especially when it has Stab on Bite in this generation. Let's get some sneaky switch training. I think we'll get good experience from this Kangaskhan. Sack Salesman, get somebody else in. I'm willing to give most of the team a shot before I try red here. Kangaskhan is pretty strong for the middle point of this game. That is a serious single-stage Pokemon by Gen 1 standards. I mean, not one of the absolute strongest in Gen 1. It wasn't, you know, smug on OU. Look at Ash, by the way, clutching up with a plot armor and visible focus Ash to paralyze this thing. You know, it wasn't a Gen 1 OU standard like Snorlax and Tauros. But this guy led with an Onix. I'm not that impressed by Onix anymore. I fought a lot of them to get here. I haven't fought a Kangaskhan before. I wonder what it was like to be a kid playing this blind in the 90s. Again, I'll never know, because I'd, you know, taken in the cultural phenomenon, watched the anime, and played Gen 2 before I played Gen 1. But moments like this must have been something for those kids. Anyway. I just realized what I can do instead of relying on red. I said I wanted to find uses for it. Now I have an impressive Kangaskhan with Stab on Bite. Comet Punch, Rage, Bite. This guy only has stab attacks. All he can do is hit hard. But now, that's nearly all I can do. And he's paralyzed, so I don't have to worry about speed ties. I do have to worry about my Bite doing less damage than his. What's that about? Oh. Right, Transform doesn't copy HP. Well, it was a fun idea, but it didn't work. Transform not copying HP, I think, made a big difference there. Alright. We'll do this after all. It was worth a shot. It was a fun use for Transform. I'll try to find more of those. Anyway, Giovanni defeated by my true ace. What? This cannot be! I see that you raise Pokemon with utmost care. A child like you would never understand what I hope to achieve. I shall step aside this time. I hope we meet again. And the Self Scope spawns there, so I'm just on top of it. Because I chose to interact with them from there. It's fine, I can just harmlessly walk off of it and pick it up. There's my Self Scope. Surely I'll never run into Giovanni again. I already took down his headquarters. Where else would he appear? But with Team Rocket surely defeated forever, I could go to the Pokemon Tower and do something about the trouble they've been causing there. But like I said, I've thought about how to split up this next segment of the game over these next couple episodes. And I wanted to get some training at the Rocket Hideout before doing the Celadon Gym. Not that I think it'll actually do me a ton of good. But while I'm here in Celadon City, I do think it's gym time now. Which means I have to add Erica to my party. Somebody is going to have to go to the PC to make room in my party. Or my cut user. And I think it's going to be... Fuji would make sense, because that's my weakest Pokemon. Ash is not very strong in this gym, but Ash could paralyze something, which has a little bit more utility. Transforming into Erica's Vileplume could be fun, but I think it's going to be Fuji. You're still new to the team, Fuji. You can take a break for now. I have to bring Erica to deal with Erica. I'll eat Salesman. I don't have a Fire-type attack on Bill. So Salesman is kind of my best Pokemon to just power through this gym. Bill is still a ways away from learning Ember. Hopefully it doesn't take too terribly long. I could go to the Pokemon Tower, but I don't even think I want to switch train there. Ghosts are actually pretty scary for my team. So... And I don't think I'd get enough levels there anyway, so... Let's just overpower this gym with a Gyarados. That ought to work perfectly well. And here's our guy. Heh, this gym is great. It's full of women. Yeah, I bet nobody who met that NPC when they first played these games ever forgotten about him. The nature-loving princess. This guy's a fan. It is pretty silly that in later gens this changed too. This gym is full of strong trainers. Totally losing the original meaning to the point where what's the point of even still having that guy there? I can understand why they didn't want to keep that gag. You know what though, it adds a little bit more color to the region. And this is Gen 1. The Pokemon world is smaller and darker and rougher around the edges. Blue's already beaten this gym. Time to add my name to that list as well. Weird gym layout. I like the one in Heart Gold and Soul Silver a lot for this gym. That's a really good layout. Much better realized version of what they were going for here. Now, this one's kind of odd. But serviceable, I guess. Hey! You are not allowed in here. Excuse me, I'm a challenger. You gotta let me contend for my spot at the league. And yeah, this is why I'm not messing around here just leading Salesman. I want to overwhelm these Bellsprout before I get it put in Wrap Hell. Which I almost managed to do there. At least I outspeed it once this wrap ends. The fact that it lets me select, or not select a move, it lets me hit the fight button. I don't get to select a move, but it lets me do something before the attack continues, keeps giving me false hope. Pretty annoying, honestly. That Weepin' Bell sprite is just wonderful. I love it. Sleep Powder, better than Stun Spore, because it'll wear off without a trip to the Pokemon Center. But now we get wrapped. Okay, well I know that Salesman can wake up while wrapped, so that's not the end of the world. I forgot just how long wrap would be relevant in the playthrough. These Bellsprout and Weepin' Bell really have picked up where Ekans largely left off. Okay, woke up. Just have to get out of the wrap now. There we go. We are still overpowering them. Just might have to go heal at some point. You're too rough. Blech. I just hope Erica wipes you out. That's funny that they wrote a bleh like that. I was getting bored. Well, yeah, if you're so hostile to half the challengers who wander in. It must get kind of boring in here. It was made pretty clear to me that I was not wanted. But hey, I can't become the champion without persevering, so here I am anyway. Goodbye, Oddish. Hello, level 30. Love to see it. Maybe I give Salesman a break next episode and focus on training others. We'll see. Salesman is pretty close to catching up to Red already. Evolving into Gyarados makes a real difference. What do you know? Turns out that... Stun Spore. Couldn't dodge him forever. I will shamelessly go heal between battles. I don't want to deal with this. At least I got 2 battles down without having to do that. And now I'm not outspeeding the Bellsprout anymore, so it's wrap time. I'll play this out. I think there's still a good chance Salesman wins this. Badly timed full para. Just keeps landing her wraps and not going for other things like growth. You know, these gym trainers mean business, not like an NPC just spamming growth for no reason. Okay, but we dodged that one. One shot with bite. Nice. Salesman definitely still wins that. My makeup! Grass-type Pokemon are tough against the Water-type. They also have an edge on Rock and Ground Pokemon. Well, my Water-type is built different, so I'm not worried. But I will go get rid of that para. Speaking of a rougher, darker Pokemon world, it's not like I ran Team Rocket out of town, right? This grunt is still wandering around here. They're still operating a game corner with their name on it. I went in and battled their boss and won. And a thing that he stole became my stolen property instead, which is useful to my progressing. I didn't really accomplish much else. Celadon City is still in the grip of Team Rocket, basically just as much as it was before. And it's just kind of how this part of the region is. Of course, Team Rocket will be disbanded eventually, but for now... Very different from an evil team that shows up with some silly goal and gets sent packing by the player character. That guy's just still right there. That sailor is still talking about there not being a switch behind the poster. Can't believe he lied about that. If I go into that house, I bet he'll say the same thing again. And then there's this guy doing his thing. Anyway. That doesn't have anything to do with Team Rocket. But he sure is dedicated. Look at my grass Pokemon. They're so easy to raise. Oh, I found my grass type easy to raise alright. Could even say broken, and I have been saying that. So many Bellsprout and Oddish in here. The Oddish are fine. The status moves are annoying, but... yeah, the Bellsprout are on another level with Gen 1 Wrap. Ah, they landed a Stun Spore immediately? In fact, the Bellsprout gets the status moves and Wrap. Yeah, it's definitely clear which grass type I would rather face. It's not this one, that this trainer has 2 of. And, of course, Venusaur is not immune to Stun Spore. Grass types don't get that immunity until Gen 6, so I don't have that option to make this easier on myself. It's just a matter of powering through with something, and Salesman is probably as good as anything. His bite's stronger than Red's Tackle. This one just keeps landing her wraps. I forgot that this gym is this annoying. I don't really remember. Man, I guess I usually have a fire type or a flying type with flying attacks or something by now. So I just sweep through this gym. I've made some different team choices this time that are kind of punishing me, but usually I feel like I'm done with rap nonsense. By the 3rd gym. And now I'm on the 4th one and I'm just getting wrapped. I guess that is what makes the difference. I don't have a fire or flying or psychic attack anywhere on my team. Or bug, which would actually go crazy in here because, of course, these are double weak to bug this gen. She's just landing every wrap. When I said that some parts of this episode would not be the most interesting, this is not what I meant because I did not know this was coming. But let's hope this is the low point of the playthrough, I'll say that. She still has not missed a wrap. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Like, you don't see anything like this in Pokemon anymore. It's a good Gen 1 showcase right now, I'll say that. Salesman might be about to lose this. It's an interesting tech that maybe was just a little much and needed to be rebalanced for later gens. I am looking at the crocheted Mega Victory Bell that my girlfriend got me as a Christmas present. I feel like I'm fighting a Mega Victory Bell right now. By the way, Salesman just absolutely clutched up and won that on 1 HP. Most broken Pokemon ever. Surely Salesman is staying on the team the whole way through. Especially after that battle. No! We only use Grass-type Pokemon at our gym. We also use them for making flower arrangements. That was something that was lost on me when I was a kid. Because Erica practices the traditional Japanese art of flower arranging, which I don't really know anything about, and didn't really know was a thing when I was a kid. And the dialogue about her doing flower arranging just bounced off me. That's one thing I'll say for looking back at, especially old Pokemon stuff, as an adult. Right? There are tons of Japanese cultural references that were completely lost on me because I just didn't recognize that that was what they were. It's really cool to look at the inspirations of especially the older Pokemon and regions and stuff and see, you know, learn a lot about Japanese culture that I didn't learn as a kid when I just, you know, I just saw Lickitung as a creature with a long tongue and didn't know how they came up with it. And I didn't know what they meant when they said that Erica does flower arranging. And I didn't think about why the game corner and the prize exchange are in separate buildings, except to the extent that I felt mildly inconvenienced by it. I've learned a lot looking back at some of these things in more recent years, and that's super cool. Nice little medium of cultural exchange, I guess. Anyway, yeah, nobody tell her about Mega Victory Bell. Good thing she can't see the one on my desk. Aren't you the peeping Tom? Now that's a greeting. Never been greeted like that before in my life, except the other times I played through this gem. Imagine you walked up to somebody and they just say, "Aren't you the peeping Tom?" There used to be, this is a long time ago, but there used to be a guy in my area who would break into women's homes while they were sleeping. Like, he would peep from inside. That was the big thing in local news. What was that guy doing? Had they caught him yet? Eventually they did. Like I said, it's a long time ago now. Anyway, now she says, "I'm in shock." Oh, you weren't peeping? We get a lot of gawkers. And from what I've seen, it's just that one gawker, but he's really persistent. And now we just got a clump of trainers in here. Obviously, Erica is the one with the unique sprite. Well, let's battle the others first, of course. Don't bring any bugs or fire Pokemon in here. I have brought a fire Pokemon, but it doesn't have a fire attack, so you'll be fine. A bug would go crazy in here with a bug-type attack, of which there are not very many this generation. I almost wish I'd brought a bug. These Oddish and Bellsprout would just get gobbled up. I know I'm tired of this at the end of this recording session because I'm bringing up stuff like the Sleepwatcher. Nobody asked about that. That Gloom Sprite is really something. Looks like it's scattering powder, I guess. Oh, you! Our leader, Erica, might be quiet, but she's also very skilled. Well, I'll be the judge of that once I finally get to her. Welcome to Celadon Gym. You better not underestimate girl power. Oh, don't worry. After the experience I've had in here, I will not. Hey, it's a cool trainer. She has a whip. That's one of the trainer classes that carry a whip in this game. Speaking of the Pokemon world being smaller, darker, and rougher around the edges, this is just a normal part of Pokemon training in Generation 1. Man, does that disappear quickly from the series. For good reason. I doubt that whips are even used much in training animals anymore, at least by anyone reputable. But of course, that's what they were going for, right? That it's like training animals. Made sense at the time, I suppose. I would be surprised if that's still a common standard thing now, even in real life. Of course, there was also that early episode of the anime where, like, Ash battled a guy who used intense training methods like that, and it was kind of like Ash hated that he did that, and I can't remember to what extent it was portrayed as wrong, because he was a strong trainer. He beat Ash. And so it looked like his methods were working. But then I feel like maybe the moral was that he learned not to do that stuff anymore, or maybe not. I think Ash tried his methods and didn't work for him, so maybe Ash was not that disapproving. Anyone who watched the early anime, you probably remember this episode. Maybe you can fill me in the comments on what happened there. Ash lost a battle to this guy, and then saw his training methods were like... I think there might have been whips involved, I don't remember, but he definitely had his Pokemon doing some intense stuff that sat kind of weirdly with me, even just watching it as a kid and largely taking things at face value. I was like, I don't know if that's something he should be doing. And then Ash tried it, and Pikachu really didn't take to it. And then maybe Team Rocket stole the kid's Pokemon, and Ash helped him get it back. I can't remember what the moral of that episode was. I don't know if it was his training methods were wrong, or like, they're just not right for Ash. Maybe I'll look into that. I'm half remembering the episode. A little bit more of it is coming back to me over time, but I'm not all the way there. Oh, beaten. Anyway, there goes the cool trainer. I didn't bring my best Pokemon. Wait till next time. I don't think there's going to be a next time. Pleased to meet you. My hobby is Pokemon training. In a Pokemon gym? No way. Execute. And it's just as well that I've let Salesman be poisoned, because can't use Hypnosis into it. And yeah, I decided just staying poisoned for now is better than getting paralyzed, but I guess Salesman's also at low HP. I guess I'll go heal before Erica. By the way, Reflect, boosting the defense. That could be a good tech for her here, but... and Bite might have KO'd anyway, but that certainly does. Alright, that's all the gym trainers. I'll go heal my Salesman, and then she says, oh, splendid. I'll go heal my Salesman and then battle Erica. I have a blind date coming up. I have to learn to be polite. I did not ask. But yes, please do learn basic manners ahead of your blind date. That seems like a good idea. Yeah, even when the Sleepwatcher was active, I don't think people were just going up to strangers and asking, aren't you the Peeping Tom? I guess that's where I was going with that. Alright, gym battle time. Aren't you the peeping Tom? Surely just a fan of strong trainers. Alright, Erica cutting down one more tree so I can get to its namesake. I do have flowers in this gym. It's easy to not notice, but they're growing all over. Hello, lovely weather, isn't it? It's so pleasant. Oh dear, I must have dozed off. Welcome. My name is Erica. I am the leader of Celadon Gym. I teach the art of flower arranging. My Pokemon are of the grass type. Oh, I'm sorry. I had no idea that you wished to challenge me. Very well, but I shall not lose. And the music changes to let you know she means business. Erica, definitely not one of the stronger personalities in the series, which is the point. Right? She's quiet, reserved, kind of sleepy. Practices beautiful art. But she's a memorable enough gym leader. It's nice to have a personality like that in the mix. Anyway, this Victory Bell's gonna be a nightmare, isn't it? Well, not if it just goes for Razor Leaf and not Stun Spore and Wrap. That Victory Bell sprite is awesome, because it just looks like a Victory Bell. But it's so weird and interesting. Okay. That's an excellently timed crit, Salesman. I'm very happy with you for that one. Trying to learn Leer. Might as well drop Splash for that. No reason to keep Splash, other than funny, but I'm over it. Tangela, that's kind of physically bulky, isn't it? I don't know, first time seeing one in the playthrough. Bite is a 3-hit KO. You know what? Once this bind wears off, I'm going to try Dragon Rage. I don't know Tangela's HP, maybe it KOs from here. Not quite. Constrict does not work like Wrap and Bind, it just goes once, so that's fine. Silly move, Constrict, don't know why it exists, but we take those, and here's her ace. Look at that Vileplume. They captured the basic elements, right? The giant, mainly the giant flower on its head. Let's bite it. Sleep Powder. I mean, I figured something like that was coming out at some point against Erica. Mega Drain, her TM. There's no Giga Drain this generation. That is the Grass-type Gym Leader's TM. That was critical hit damage just now. Kinda underwhelming. Petal Dance, much stronger. Great animation, too, for Gen 1, but not her TM. I could teach Mega Drain to my Mew. I could probably teach my Clefairy. I don't know that I'll be teaching it to anything. It doesn't seem like an especially worthwhile TM to use. But we'll see. The Vileplume thrashes about, KO's Salesman. Maybe I could have swapped, but Salesman was asleep anyway. Let's see how Red handles this. Can't Leech Seed a Grass type in any generation. Can't Poison Powder a Poison type in any generation, so I don't get to throw status back at her, I just get to tackle. But Petal Dance shouldn't do much. Oh, it's confused. Nice. The Petal Dance that it was doing came to an end. Poison Powder. That's the only one I'm immune to. Bad idea. Nice Gen 1 in-game AI as she goes for Poison Powder again. And a tackle finishes the job. I'm gonna have to make an effort next episode to train more Pokemon than just my Venusaur and my Gyarados. Although Pokemon Tower is coming up early on, and I probably want to spam Dragon Rage through a lot of that. But after that, I have a Mew to train. I have some other team members to train. Possible some of them will change next episode. I'm not sure. I haven't decided 100%. And maybe there's some Safari Zone luck involved. But anyway, enough talking about next episode. We gotta get through the rest of this one. Erica defeated. Oh, I concede defeat. You are remarkably strong. I must confer you the Rainbow Badge. The Rainbow Badge will make Pokemon up to level 50 obey. It also allows Pokemon to use Strength in and out of battle. Please also take this with you. TM21. Contains Mega Drain. Half the damage it inflicts is drained to heal your Pokemon. Yeah, so honestly, after Bide's not really notable, but after Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt, Mega Drain is pretty underwhelming. But that's what I got. You are cataloging Pokemon? I must say I'm impressed. I would never collect Pokemon if they were unattractive. Alright. On that note, I also accidentally unplugged my headphones just now, so I can't hear the game anymore. That's the episode. What a line to end on. You know, I said this. There might be some less interesting parts of the game here. And Rock Tunnel is not super interesting. It's just a nice gauntlet challenge. But going to the first big city in the series and seeing what a big city looked like in the very first Pokemon games, it takes me back, and I found some new stuff. And it's just so different from what we get now. I've had fun with this for sure. Next time, of course, more to explore. We get to see some ghosts, my favorite type. But that's it. My snow day coming to an end. It's actually getting pretty close to dinner time. It has not stopped snowing at all. Not even lightened up a bit. But, hey, nothing like playing some Pokemon on a cozy, snowy day. And now we move on. More adventure to come.